Welcome to the For Honor Season 2 World Premiere. With Shadow and Might no farther than a dagger's throw away, we've got quite the spectacle for your viewing pleasure. My name is Jump, and I'm here to guide you throughout all of the action that you will see before you. 16 players from around the globe have descended upon us to test their strength and prowess on the battlefield. But before we begin and get into all of the action that you're going to see today, we're going to do a quick little interview with STRIPPIN, one of our players for this. Now, STRIPPIN, Shadow and Might's right around the corner, like we said, is launching tomorrow. What are you most excited for with both the DLC as well as what you're going to have today?
I think, speak for everyone when I say we're really excited to get our hands on the new characters. They look amazing. The new maps are stunning, and there's a lot of amazing players here, so I'm looking forward to getting bopped.
Getting bopped, not feeling the confidence, but that doesn't mean that there aren't plenty of other players that are ready to show their strength. So with that, we're going to break down what you're going to see today over with the casters.
Hello, everyone. I am Matt Sohinky. I am joined by DM Brandon, and we are excited to bring to you the matches today for the For Honor Season 2 World Premiere.
We have 16 players coming in from around the world, including previous tournament champions like PETEMOO and Cypher, community members, people who run the Discords and the Reddits, as well as streamers of the variety case, people from YouTube as well. So there are a lot of different forms of talent here looking to bring home the crown for the Season 2 World Premiere, featuring two brand new characters as well, the Shinobi and Centurion.
I'm glad you pronounced them correctly. You can see on the schedule here, we're starting off with a 1v1 round-robin tournament. There's going to be 4 groups, and the winners of those groups, the 2 winners from each group, will go on to play Dominion matches later in the day, where they will actually get their hands on the new characters.
The 1v1 system is going to be pretty simple. We've broken up our 16 players into 4 groups. The top 2 with the best records out of each group will go on to form 2 Dominion teams, Team Shadow and Team Might, and the winners will be receiving well, some glorious jewelry.
Yes, jewelry, crowns, glory, all the stuff that goes along with winning hand-to-hand melee combat. We know what we're excited about, but we want to hear what you guys are excited about, of course, so make sure that you're tweeting us today with the hashtag ForHonor, and let us know what you're looking forward to with Shadow and Might.
We're going to be starting today with Group A. You'll see PETEMOO, a consistent tournament champion from around the world, will be leading off against STRIPPIN. We also have FATAL-FEIT and FAIRLIGht EXCALIBUR in what is very clearly one of the groups of death here.
Yeah, PETEMOO, of course, one of the most prolific tournament winners. He is a monster when it comes to this game, the best warlord in the world, probably, so I'm excited to see him play. But right now, we need to introduce the 4th member of our team today. So we got Bill over on the couch with Eric.
We do have one more member to introduce. I'm joined here by Eric Pope, community developer for Honor. Now, we've had a couple of things back and forth about Shadow and Might, but what really is Shadow and Might?
It's a lot of things, but as you can see from the giant frame behind me, we're introducing 2 new heroes to the game, the Shinobi, as our man Juice pronounced it, as well as the Centurion. These are 2 brand new heroes to the game. They have very different play styles from the current roster of heroes, so that's super exciting. There's new maps, there's a gear stats overhaul, there's a ton of cool new stuff.
We don't want to spoil too much.
I know. We'll get into it later.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. Now, we've gone over the groups kind of very briefly, and as someone who's deeply ingrained in the community the way that you are, who are you most excited to see today?
So for me, this is really exciting because part of my job is keeping an eye on all these different guys. Some of them are full-time streamers. Some of them are on Reddit all day telling me what we need to change in Discord. So they're from different parts of the internet, and they're all going to be playing together, which is really rare. And I'm actually excited. There are some guys, some of our community guys that our casters aren't even familiar with yet, that they might see some surprises here today.
Maybe some dark horses, maybe some excitement. But for Group A to get started, let's go ahead and throw it to the casters for that final breakdown.
As I mentioned, starting things off with Group A here, which I guess we've now called it the Group of Death because Mr. PETEMOO is in there. But let's get a look at some of our other competitors as well. We've got STRIPPIN. You saw him at the War of the Factions event. He's playing Warlord. We'll see if his Warlord matches up to PETEMOO's. He thinks he's going to get bopped. I think he's probably right, but, maybe he's just being bashful, or,
FATAL-FEIT here as well. He is a Warden and Warlord player. He said most likely leaning towards that Warden style. Has been playing since Alpha. Like the very earliest test, has been a part of every single test to date, but has novice tourney experience, has not really been out and about, might have some tournament jitters to get over, but I mean, hey, I think PETEMOO will shake him up pretty quickly.
Probably. I think we've decided that this is sort of the fight for second place.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah, and of course we have FAIRLIGHT Excalibur in there as well. He played Raider last I remember. I'm not sure what he's playing these days.
I think it's going to be pretty much all Warden and Conqueror today. Most likely going to stay with that Warden. It's unlikely we'll see any of that Conqueror play, especially against PETEMOO.
It's important because they're trying to get to the match where they can actually play the new characters. That's their reward.
Right.
Getting to play the Centurion. We actually got our hands on him a little bit just so we could, you know, talk about what they're actually doing, and they're sick.
I'm
Obviously
a big Shinobi fan.
Yeah?
I'm not going to play the Centurion because he's a knight, and all knights are disgusting. That's just a fact.
I mean, all right.
Vikings are the greatest, and right now, we didn't get a character because we won the faction war, so we don't need more reinforcements.
Right, I see. Well, I look at it as you being punished, but enough of this. I think we should go to the stage right now where Jump has PETEMOO for an interview.
Pete, they're saying that this is the group of death, and it seems everybody's pretty convinced that you're going to come out of this unscathed. Do you feel the same way, or do you actually feel like there's some competition at hand?
It's going to be an easy group.
Easy group, easy life. Guys, game one. PETEMOO, good luck to you. Take it away.
Game one with PETEMOO versus STRIPPIN. Well, let's just do this. Let's run through the motions. What are your predictions?
What we're going to do is PETEMOO's going to play all 3 of his games in a row.
Yeah.
After that, STRIPPIN will clean up, and then we'll end up with FAIRLIGHT and FATAL-FEIT to clean the pool out.
Right.
PETEMOO will then, like I said, start off facing STRIPPIN. After that will be FAIRLIGHT. After that will be FATAL-FEIT. And I'm expecting that he is not going to drop a single round. This will be 9 straight rounds of Finland's finest.
I tend to agree with you. PETEMOO is a monster. Listen to that voice. It's the voice of a god.
He really does have a fantastic voice.
It is incredible. I would be intimidated, especially after he's saying this is going to be an easy group.
like Bill said, easy group, easy life. And then I don't know where he's going to go, whether it's Team Shadow or Team Might, but I think it's pretty expected that at this point, PETEMOO has little trouble. But I would like to see him lose a round. I want to see someone just take a round. Show that he's human.
I want to see STRIPPIN show some signs of life here. And
look at his face, too. STRIPPIN's super focused. PETEMOO's kind of like giggling to himself a little bit.
I mean, here's the thing. He just came from a long flight, came all the way from Finland. There's a lot of jet lag going into it, but let's just get right into the game.
Is this starting? He's going to play Valkyrie. Okay. He's going to start off, and he's going to take it. Okay, not too bad.
Hits him again with that shield bash, and while it does remove indicators and has a little stun, I actually like that he's mixing things up early here. Pete maybe taking it easy, trying to read what he's going to be doing. A heavy lands.
Wow. Pete's angry. Pete will answer back with a heavy. And he's going to answer back with another heavy, catching the backstep. And he's going to take one for it, countered beautifully, and he's already going to take him below, and he's at critical.
He read that light spam because most Valkyries, especially newer Valkyries, they want to get that second light so they can do the sweep. He knew it was coming, able to parry the light very easily.
That's going to be round number 1. PETEMOO. Maybe not unexpected that he wins, but definitely unexpected for how well STRIPPIN was able to open up the defense of the normal, impenetrable PETEMOO.
And, of course, the necessary taunting after the first round there. It looked like for the first 10 seconds of the round, Pete was like, I'm just going to see what you're made of. Let's see what you've got in the arsenal. And then as soon as STRIPPIN tried to get the offense going, it was pretty much Pete's game.
Little smug.
He has a little smug. That smile. He knows what's up.
Going right into it, dodges right past, looking for that knockdown. Not going to get it.
Like a matador there. That was ridiculous.
And yeah, he's going to push him into the wall, and that's going to be a big heavy to start it off. And then running back through, trying to catch him, but it's going to be one hit, second one's parried, and it's going to be a cross slash once again.
That is the story of what's happening right now is STRIPPIN is going for these double lights. He's reading the second light every single time, reacting with the parry.
Yeah. Follow up, light, and the overhead connects as well with that top.
STRIPPIN's starting to mix things up a little bit more here, but wow, that guard, no, that was a feint into a guard break attempt. Doesn't land it though.
Side light connects. STRIPPIN getting a little bit over aggressive here. I'll give it a follow up. Guard break's not gonna work. Pete a little bit too quick on the draw. Knocked into the wall. Heavy's gonna spell round 2, and we're at game point.
I like what I saw from STRIPPIN there. You saw that backstep heavy, which is him trying to make a little bit of a read, hoping that Pete might commit to that leaping overhead. So
smug.
STRIPPIN, he's getting his butt handed to him right now, but
a little bit.
He's showing some signs of life. I think that he could take second, maybe.
Going into round number 3, remember, this is a best of 5, so if Pete wins this, he wins the first game of the day, and a non-stop barrage going to already spell about 40% of the health off Strippin.
He knew exactly when he needed to stop for his stamina, too. This is a seasoned Warlord player against someone that is not as seasoned. Let's be real here.
Again, 5, 6 hits in a row, or 6 inputs in a row, catching Strippin off guard. Again, puts him at critical. One parry will do it if he can find it.
A lot of people don't realize because, oh wow, great knockdown there, but no follow-up because he's out of stamina, unfortunately.
Trouble for him, overhead. Top heavy gonna do it, and the execution gonna come through. Game number 1, PETEMOO.
Just as we predicted so far, PETEMOO with an easy 3-0. Strippin getting bopped as he predicted, so at least everyone's predictions were correct.
Next up, we're gonna switch off of Strippin. He'll get a little bit of a break. FAIRLIGHT EXCALIBUR will be taking his place in trying his hand at one of our champions.
FAIRLIGHT EXCALIBUR, also a seasoned player. We've seen him play against some popular players. Galahad, who's known in the community.
Right.
I remember FAIRLIGHT having a pretty close match with him.
And early on, I mean, played a ton. Had a lot of beta access. Went to the what was the original event called?
War Rising?
No, that was our
that
event.
Was our
wow,
event.
that was shameless.
What?
Wow.
I would never plug our team.
This is crazy. But yeah, FAIRLIGHT's going to be jumping in. Mostly known for Warden play, has seen Conqueror, but usually stays 100% to that knight style of play.
Warden? You're talking about
FAIRLIGHT?
FAIRLIGHT. Yeah, I thought so. I remember him in the War of the Factions. He played Raider a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. So
he's the knight guy, though.
He is. He did in that match that I was talking about. He definitely was playing a Warden. So you are correct.
Are you a betting guy? Are you gonna bet on FAIRLIGHT? Because I'm gonna take Pete if you don't mind.
I think I might be losing some money, but yeah, sure. For the sake of what we're doing here, I'll take FAIRLIGHT. And one of the things that we didn't mention is that we are on the new patch today.
Right.
Something that will go live with Season 2. And so if FAIRLIGHT does go with Raider, there have been some significant Raider buffs.
Such as?
Such as, for instance, you can pretty much any Raider attack in the game can now be canceled into a stunning tap.
Which is
that
amazing.
That includes the zone attack. Everything. Any heavy can be canceled into it. So it gives him a lot more mix-up options. And the most important thing, because a lot of Raider's best offense comes when you're out of stamina, the most important thing is that his the Raider charge, where he drags you and knocks you into the wall and knees you in the head. First of all, the knee has some damage on it, but it actually has stamina drain now. The longer he carries you, the more stamina he drains out of you. So I actually think the Raider, after this buff, might end up, I don't think he'll be top tier, but he'll definitely be up there as far as character strength.
And you'll see on your screen, PETEMOO versus FAIRLIGHT EXCALIBUR. Getting started in just a second. This, let's see, this is going to be on Shipyard, Snowy Night. Oh, no, I guess not. My fault.
PETEMOO is starting off
Changing
with a taunt. You see the Warden as you predicted.
Also, he switched off the Warlord and went into Lawbringer.
These are the mix-ups that we really saw. I think Galahad be the pioneer of are these shove mix-ups. We go immediately into those guard break attempts for the light afterward. The one buff that happened since then, actually, well, there's been several buffs, but the important one in my eyes is that the shove now guarantees that overhead light.
FAIRLIGHT doing extraordinarily well right now. Has him very close to critical. Feint into guard break, gonna get teched. And finally, PETEMOO starts his aggression. Gets a small amount of damage with that heavy, but not much else.
As we mentioned before, this is the matchup that FAIRLIGHT is very familiar with. It does manage to land a heavy into a light there. Teching the guard break. Oh, an overhead light is gonna land. The shove comes through as well as that top light, as we mentioned. Doesn't fall for that parry bait, though.
FAIRLIGHT in a little bit of trouble, out of stamina. Able to get back into the green safely, but takes some damage afterwards. Good tech once again. Finds a follow-up, and it's going to be a round for FAIRLIGHT.
Wow, surprising us there. FAIRLIGHT actually taking a round from PETEMOO, and Pete's just nodding his head over there. He's feeling like
he's so smug. I can't stand it.
It's pretty great.
It's outrageous.
You know, we just met him recently. We're seeing a replay what happened here. He caught him dashing at the end there. Pete was a little low on stamina, tried to dash away, and he just gets caught by the guard break and the heavy afterward.
Going into round number 2, PETEMOO with the first time deficit in a very long time, I'd say. As the first round does go to FAIRLIGHT. Shove, guard break, again, gonna get countered. And the first hit of this round will go this time to PETEMOO.
He read that guard, or the shoulder cancel that time. able to come through with a light. I think he's going to start checking that a bit more when he sees that that shoulder charge coming through.
Tries to counter, he's going to take a heavy for it, big damage, and basically evens the board. But of course, being naturally a bit more tanky, you'll see an extra bar of health still.
Goes for that feint into the guard break attempt. He's going to eat a lot of damage for it. Those shoulders coming through repeatedly. There's the guard break, catches him dashing again. The heavy's going to come through, tries to bait out that parry attempt, doesn't get it.
FAIRLIGHT may have gotten a tad bit over-aggressive there. He's going to take a maximum punish. And oh, I think that was maybe a parry attempt. Round number 2, despite an early advantage for FAIRLIGHT, will go to PETEMOO.
That is such a rough situation for the Warden. He has to respect that unblockable, has to go for the parry, and unfortunately just the situation you're in, you're going to eat that damage, one way or the other.
And Pete, I think, kind of recognized that, baited him into it. I think where it really fell apart is FAIRLIGHT tried to maximize his damage on that punish and ran out of stamina doing it. Put him at a major disadvantage, and you give PETEMOO an inch, you know?
Going into round number 3 here, starting things off with a shove. Both players a little more hesitant this round. Both of them trying to go for their respective charges, but PETEMOO is going to be the one that answers first.
Guard break not going to work. FAIRLIGHT trying to cancel out of the shoulder. Winds up using some stamina, doesn't get much health out of it. Finally lands an overhead light, but he's going to take one of his own. That
was beautiful. The backdash into the shove, dodge the shoulder, and then he gets his own mix-up off of it.
Simultaneous guard breaks do nothing there. Decent damage from FAIRLIGHT once again. Dodging away, got to watch that stamina, getting pretty low in the green. He's going to take a heavy shove, another light. Wow, and another shot on top. He's one hit away, but PETEMOO this time, very low in stamina.
Actually, both players out of stamina right now. Unfortunate for FAIRLIGHT as he was just getting his offense going. He's able to tech that guard break. Catching back up now in stamina game. Oh, the backstep shove again working out for him. That's a really good option.
Using that vortex, but the guard break not going to work. Countered very quickly. Is that a zone? That was super fast.
The Warden zone is very good, reliable damage, but so often, here's revenge opportunity now for FAIRLIGHT.
FAIRLIGHT with a major advantage. Oh, he activates it in a bad spot, and Pete's like, no, sir. He throws out a few taunts, still gets the block, counters the guard break, continues on, actually counters another forward rush, and ends it inside his own revenge.
That was an incredible sequence. Once again, able to check that shoulder with the light, and that's the adjustment that he's made from round 1. He's reading these guard break cancels off of the shoulder and just reacting with the light attack.
If you guys are out there, we want to know what you're excited for. Hashtag Shinobi or hashtag Centurion with a hashtag FORHONOR, please, so we can track that as well.
Yeah, I am on team hashtag Centurion myself.
That's ridiculous nonsense.
No, he's cool. You're wrong.
I mean, it's Shinobi. That's why people bought the game. No one bought the game to play Knights. That's nerdy.
Look, he's a Centurion. It's different.
Yeah, it doesn't sound different. Nerd.
Wow, that overhead heavy just lets that rip. I can't even believe that connected.
And a bit of armor absorbs, but no punish that time from swinging wildly. Gets 2 in and 1 connects. FAIRLIGHT taking another heavy on top. He's going to miss the shoulder, but no punish.
PETEMOO now low on stamina, and that shoulder does connect, knocking him into the out of stamina state. FAIRLIGHT tries to chase him down, but Pete, recognizing this, is able to tech.
FAIRLIGHT blocking 1. Takes 1 on top, blocks the second one, but that guard break not going to go through. FAIRLIGHT still very low in health, and that's going to end the round and the game. PETEMOO up now 2-0 in his pool.
That was, I want to say, very impressive from FAIRLIGHT. He definitely showed that he has the Warden mix-ups down. It's just one of those things where you're up against, look at that face.
So smug.
He's so smug.
My God.
He just knows how good he is. He's deciding he doesn't even need sound at this point. Or maybe he's just taking a little bit of a break, who knows, but easy day at the office is the look on the face right now.
So far, I would say that's fairly accurate. This was, I think, from the first round of his first fight against STRIPPIN. That's, I think, the 3rd round against STRIPPIN. You see the execution.
Oh, we got to disrespect STRIPPIN like that. I mean, show his fate once again.
Well, here, I mean, we see pretty decent job by FAIRLIGHT EXCALIBUR, but still falling down 3-1. So far doing pretty well in his pool. Next up, PETEMOO is going to be playing against FATAL-FEIT.
Yes, and this is a player that I don't think either of us have seen yet. Community member.
Right.
So we're excited to see him play. You talked to him a little bit before you know what he's going to be playing, yeah?
Yeah, so most of the time he says Warden or Warlord, most likely going to lean towards that Warden. has had long-time alpha access, beta access, has been a part of every playtest the game has had. But he has novice tourney experience, so it might be a little bit harder for him to match up against maybe one of our more seasoned veterans.
We just saw how that Warden matchup goes against PETEMOO, but he's been playing since alpha. It's very possible that we're going to see some new stuff from him.
I would like to see it. I would like to see it.
Look, PETEMOO dropped around to FAIRLIGHT.
That's true, but he was playing Lawbringer, not his signature Warlord.
Fair enough.
Right now, I still think STRIPPIN has a fair chance against FAIRLIGHT. I think it's a pretty even matchup between the two of them. But I want to see how FATAL-FEIT's able to hold.
I'm looking forward to it. He seemed pretty confident when we talked to him backstage. He knows his stuff at the very least. At least that was the sense that I got. So going into this matchup against PETEMOO, you know, he might not have as much tournament experience, but he's definitely been playing the game just as long.
So we're starting in the nighttime village.
Wow.
Ashfield.
And look at this. We are going to see the Raider, the brand new Raider.
He's trying to run the table a little bit. FATAL-FEIT's going to start off with the Warlord. Was that a kill? I think he may have just thrown that away. I think they're pretty close to the environment there.
Yeah, it's one of those things with For Honor players. They're all about their honor or whatever. But yeah, I say throw him into the lava.
Starting off, FATAL-FEIT doing a pretty good job of opening up that defense, but a nice punish and throws him backwards. Not going to be enough to kill, but some decent damage. PETEMOO trying to answer back.
Lucky that fence was there, actually. That ended up saving his life. Goes for that zone attack, but it's going to be interrupted by the light.
The same thing happens on the other side. The guard break gets interrupted by the light. FATAL-FEIT answering Warlord combo for a small amount of damage. Health about even on both sides.
PETEMOO checking him there, just seeing if he can let that heavy rip and seeing what FATAL-FEIT's reaction will be. So far, very solid Warlord play, mixing those headbutts in nicely with the rest of his offense. There's that stunning tap cancel. Going to cancel heavy now into a guard break attempt, doesn't fall for it.
Uh-oh, out of stamina. Warlord combo, one gonna connect. Gonna need at least two more, otherwise maybe a light or a heavy. Oh, I don't think he meant to knock him into that. I think he was looking for the lava kill. Canceled, thrown down, and we're gonna see a big out of stamina miss! FATAL-FEIT gets stamina back first, goes for the guard break, gonna get countered. FATAL-FEIT again trying to go forward, but he misses completely. Stunning tap, going for it, and the end of the round this time. Lightning does not strike the same place twice.
That was the mix-ups there from Pete were incredible. He had the heavy cancel into the stunning tap, into the heavy cancel again to bait out the parry. At that point, FATAL-FEIT was out of stamina, unfortunately, and that's what led to the situation where he should have died probably, but unfortunately Pete was out of stamina at the time. Excellent stuff from both players, actually.
Still looking smug after that miss attack, huh? All right, that's fine.
He's confident. You know, he's got 2 wins under his belt already. What does he have to worry about? Going into that
I don't know,
charge.
what was he bowing at? Like, where do you think you are, son? That's one of the champions. FATAL-FEIT, nope, not gonna catch this time. Out of stamina right now, PETEMOO. Warlord combo for a small amount of damage. Tries to open him up with the guard break, gets countered immediately, but the light connects. FATAL-FEIT with a small health advantage.
That zone attack mix-up is good, but it's going to use up a lot of your stamina, and that's the thing that we see PETEMOO struggling with just a little bit right now. Raider's stamina pool was actually buffed, but it still requires a lot to cancel those zone attacks.
Warlord combo again. Little ticks of damage help. Try to whittle PETEMOO down. Another guard break countered again. And again. Goes for a swing. This one's getting parried. That's going to be a big punish into the wall. That's going to be a top heavy.
He read that light perfectly, and that's the thing that a lot of Raider players are going to struggle with, I think, is not relying on that cancel too much. He throws him actually into the fire, and now the health bars are pretty much even.
Yeah, it's going to be almost 2 bars worth. FATAL-FEIT still with a very slight advantage, but that gets whittled away with that light attack coming out from the Raider. PETEMOO, again, now getting evened out in health. It's another shot lands from FATAL-FEIT.
I like the option there of just letting the heavy rip at this point. He's been canceling, and that zone attack is going to do big damage, but he's been canceling. And oh, this is going to be the end of the round. The guard break catches him, and the axe to the head to close that out.
Round number 2 to Pete. One more to close out his session of the pool. He is 1 round away from guaranteeing first seed in Group A.
That smug look, man.
He's so smart.
At FATAL-FEIT, though, he's looking pretty calm himself.
Now, this is a player, again, we didn't really know much about in a competitive stance. A player that doesn't really get a lot of tournament time. So I think he's doing pretty well considering the odds he's up against.
It's one of those things where maybe he just feels, hey, I'm holding my own against PETEMOO. I feel pretty good about the rest of the group.
We called this the group of death. I mean, people really sleeping on all of the members of this pool.
Goes for that unlock charge. Not going to work out on PETEMOO, as he is very aware of all the Warlord tools.
Yeah, I would imagine so. He really created most of them.
Yeah.
Guard breaks really not landing. We've had very few actually connect all the way through in all of the sets we've seen so far today in Group A.
People really on those techs, and it's just one of those things where you want to check your opponent.
That one's gonna get parried. That's what we're looking for. And yeah, right into the wall, and that's gonna be another heavy. 2 bars left for PETEMOO. He swings through, decent damage, but still at a deficit, and it continues to grow.
FATAL-FEIT playing this round really solid. The only time he's really taken damage is when he falls exactly for that. Those baits there. Whoa, he's not gonna connect with the wall, but he will at least be able to guarantee a light.
FATAL-FEIT trying to work his way out of this corner. Gets a Warlord combo. That one does not get parried, a little bit too early on the timing.
Tries to feint into the guard break there. Is not going to work out. Is able to tech one right back, though.
This is where Pete does very well against Warlord. He knows how much damage that headbutt stab Warlord combo is going to do and knows that it's going to take 3 hits. He starts to turtle up once he's taken 1 or 2 of them to avoid the light death as well. So he just starts being very aggressive at this stage. That's a little bit harder afterwards. Misses that one, and that's going to be a round. FATAL-FEIT joins the group of people who have defeated PETEMOO at least once today.
He's able to pull off a round, and look at the smile on his face. He's feeling himself a little bit going into round number 4 here. And Pete, I think Pete's happy a little bit. He's like, good, I'm glad there's some competition today.
Going back to round number 4, a very serious environmental fatality opportunity on both sides, and I think that's gonna be it. PETEMOO off the wall!
FATAL-FEIT makes no mistake that time, realizing that his back is to the lava, and you gotta watch your step, Pete.
Life comes at you fast, Peter. You got 1 more shot.
Make sure you can hear him in the back. Oh my goodness, and we are on the final round. FATAL-FEIT might take a game here against the legend.
That would be wild. Oh, watch your back.
With his back to the fire.
Watch your back. Left side gonna get blocked. PETEMOO, a very small deficit so far. Feint in. We switch to Pete's stance. And again, counter guard break. Warlord combo, another one. But a light to answer back.
Pete's been doing a really good job of that, making sure that he's answering those headbutts. There's another zone attack feint into the stunning tap, one of his new tools, and it's been working out for Pete quite often.
FATAL-FEIT that time gets dodged, and he's going into the... Nope, he's gonna take a heavy though.
There it is.
Gotta watch that stamina, boy.
PETEMOO, once again with his back to that fire, he's quite literally playing with fire right now.
That one's gonna get parried, and this one's gonna hurt. He chooses the environment as opposed to just going into the fire, gets some decent damage off, and basically ties up the life bars.
He's doing a good job, FATAL-FEIT is, of, just as I say that, he gets caught by that guard break, but he's doing a really good job of reading that stunning tap mix-up and even parrying it a couple times.
There's a 1-bar advantage right now in health. FATAL-FEIT has to work back that disadvantage. And it's starting to grow a little bit as Pete lands another light. And it's gonna grow even more as he lands a heavy.
Oh, he's out of stamina, and this is FATAL-FEIT's chance right now. He's gotta get in there with those headbutts. That is the one way that he can really catch up. Wow, Pete does a great job of getting away. That zone attack's not gonna close things out though.
Heavy cancel to stunning tap. You know he's looking for it. Oh, goes for the guard break. We all got baited, and it's gonna be curtains. And the group for PETEMOO.
I am so impressed with how FATAL-FEIT was playing there. Quite beyond competent Warlord play.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people will say, well, he got that easy round where he pushed him into the lava. But hey, it takes a lot to catch PETEMOO in a guard break.
There has never been a situation where catching PETEMOO in a guard break has been considered easy in my eyes.
There he goes, putting the headphones down. He's feeling himself.
Well, he's done. I mean, that's it. He got a 3-0 in his pool. He did lose more rounds than expected. 1 to FAIRLIGHT and 2 to FATAL-FEIT. In fact, almost losing the set at one point.
I think if FATAL-FEIT had just taken a deep breath there and gone into those headbutt mix-ups while Pete was out of stamina, he could have at least evened the life bars up a little bit, but in the end, it was those zone baits into the guard break that were really working for PETEMOO.
It's very much possible. But there you see the first round. I think this was pretty expected. FATAL-FEIT in the second round answering a little bit better, but still not faring as well. The fourth round throw into the lava, but in the end, it's going to be PETEMOO. And speaking of PETEMOO, we're going to check out what he has to say after winning Group A very early. See what they have to say, Bill.
So now, Pete, the first couple matches went pretty handily in your favor, although you struggled a little bit in that last match. What was the thought process? We finally saw some teeth on the smile, so what do you think?
Well, FATAL-FEIT was like really passive. It wasn't really throwing out too many attacks, so it was just hard to open it up. But after I started dodging more headbutts, I could actually get some damage in.
Awesome. Now, you did get to play the Raider on that last run. With those changes, did you appreciate those? Did you like the mix-ups that you could have with them?
Oh yeah, for sure. Doing the unblockable zone into the top lights, it's actually very good. It's very good.
Awesome. Well, fantastic. 3-0 guarantees you to the next round, but that doesn't mean that we're done with the matches. Guys, let's finish them off.
All right, we have the rest of the matches now in Group A for you. The next one is going to be STRIPPIN versus FAIRLIGHT EXCALIBUR, and I'm excited to see this one because at first we were kind of thinking that they would be battling for second place as we didn't really know a lot about FATAL-FEIT, but now I'm kind of thinking that FATAL-FEIT is going to be up there as well. The rest of this group really is a toss-up.
So after this, FATAL-FEIT will play his games in a row to finish the pool out. So realistically, whoever wins this is in the best possible situation. There is still a chance for a three-way tie in Group A, although maybe unlikely. I mean, everyone would have to wind up beating each other in order, which is usually not what we see, but it's possible. As of right now, if I was a betting man, and I am, by the way, I actually don't know who I would bet on.
You don't know
this
who you'd bet on?
All seems really even. I think I would probably go towards FATAL-FEIT.
That is who I'm leaning toward as well. Honestly, I think it's going to be either FATAL-FEIT or FAIRLIGHT. STRIPPIN, he did show some signs of life, a few adjustments.
But he had to fight the Warlord.
He did have to fight the Warlord.
He had to fight the main.
So the main thing I noticed when he was playing is that he really wants to connect that second light instead of, for instance, going into like a shield bash mix-up or something, because he wants that light sweep, which is sort of the standard bread and butter of the Valkyrie. That being said, we're about to head into the game here. Get a look at STRIPPIN. He has a look on his face like he feels he might get bopped.
Now, honestly, I think he has a chance. Again, FAIRLIGHT, when he fought into a Lawbringer. When we saw FATAL-FEIT, he fought into a Raider. These are not characters that PETEMOO has played at a competitive level, at least not well enough to where, you know, you could really say, wow, he almost beat PETEMOO. Whereas poor STRIPPIN had to fight through the Warlord.
I don't think it's decided one way or the other. I'm just telling you what I saw.
All right. STRIPPIN versus FAIRLIGHT EXCALIBUR coming up as your fourth game out of what could be 6 in Group A.
Yeah. And I'm assuming we're going to be seeing Valkyrie versus Warden. Once again, we have said that we've seen FAIRLIGHT play the Raider before, so it could end up being Valkyrie versus Raider.
See, right here we have your group standing so far, or as I like to call it, the overall look at the FORHONOR meta. PETEMOO has 3 points, no one else has any.
I wouldn't say that. All right.
Cypher should have at least 2.
Cypher, yes. He's been winning. He actually switched to Warlord recently. He's been winning a lot of tournaments.
Cypher, you'll see him third player in Group B. I think the 2 players in contention for like best FORHONOR player right now is definitely between Cypher and PETEMOO, but who knows what will happen this weekend with 2 new characters on the table going into the Dominion Show match.
And a couple other honorable mentions there. King Richard, for instance, who's a very skilled player himself, plays a lot of Peacekeeper, but I think he switched over mainly Valkyrie now.
Yeah, he's been playing a lot of Valkyrie, but we're looking at STRIPPIN versus FAIRLIGHT EXCALIBUR. This is your 4th game of Group A, and again, they're fighting for second place. We're riding in with STRIPPIN and his Valkyrie, and he's gonna start off strong. Leaps
in with that light attack, and that's gonna kick things off. Does go for that second light, but is not going to be punished just yet.
FAIRLIGHT trying to keep his distance, and he's gonna get knocked down. Top heavy will do it. Mix up with the shield bash again. Opened up in another top heavy.
Actually able to catch the dash there and guarantee even more damage. FAIRLIGHT looking a little out of sorts. Is going to catch him with a shoulder there. Tries for the cancel. Is not going to work though. STRIPPIN pretty game.
All block. Sitting, using a bit of stamina. FAIRLIGHT answering back. Decent damage off the heavy. Guard break again, not going to connect. As STRIPPIN continues that barrage, but he gets punished for it. Both players about even health.
One adjustment that he made early on as he connects with the light there is that he went for light whiffs intentionally just to lead into the sweep. So he is mixing things up. The heavy's going to connect into the shield bash, but it's going to put him out of stamina. FAIRLIGHT going to come back in with that fast light attack, tries for a guard break, but now STRIPPIN right back in there.
Oh, Wow.
Yeah, that overhead light counter, one of Warden's tools, is so strong. Actually does as much as most heavies. I think it's around 40, 45 damage. Off of, or no, it might be like 35, but it's off of a light, which is ridiculous.
You see FAIRLIGHT looking pretty focused going into round number 2. So you'll see how it ended just very quickly.
See Strippin shaking his head a little bit there, realizing he was a little overzealous.
You gotta be careful when attacking Warden. Oh, wow, you gotta be careful when defending against Warden. Clearly, already 3 bars down. Zone attack will give him some damage, but not nearly enough to pressure him backwards. Throws, but not into the environment, doesn't catch anything out of it, but out of stamina, and maybe in a bit of trouble at this low health.
I'm not sure if Strippin realizes, but those leaping attacks are very unsafe. He does manage to connect with a guard break and a heavy, though. Another heavy's going to go through and punish that guard break attempt. Shoulder comes through, but the shield bash is going to win out. Strippin not able to get that trip mix up, though.
Thought that we were going to see a sweep there. He's being a lot more patient than I expected. Zone, decent damage. Again, FAIRLIGHT with a 1-bar advantage. You got to watch those lights, both on offense and on defense. Oh, and that roll's going to put him out of stamina. FAIRLIGHT with a chance to close out round number 2, and I think he's going to do it. 2-0 for FAIRLIGHT.
Strippin,
Oh, that was smug too.
once
Everyone's
again,
so smug.
shaking his head a little bit. He realized his mistakes. I think that roll was probably a little bit of an input error, just mashing the button. So he got caught, but he's changing things up, which is, you know, he might have been a little intimidated versus Pete or whatever, but right now we are seeing some adjustments. I like how Strippin's playing, regardless of the fact that he's down 2-0.
Strippin's got a long road ahead to make this comeback. 3 rounds straight to win this game. That big overhead coming once again, top heavy from FAIRLIGHT, close to half health already.
I think the main thing that's working for Strippin is that when he does the stuff out of the all block stance, that's the bread and butter he needs to go to more. And you see it working out for him there. No, he's actually patient. I was saying it could lead into a trip mix-up.
Gotta be careful. That stamina finally coming back. FAIRLIGHT trying to get inside. Both of them about 3 bars right now. Slight advantage for FAIRLIGHT. No parry, no punish on that. One of Valkyrie's slower attacks off the lights, and he gets smacked by it. 1.5 left. No dodge, top heavy. Oh, this time getting blocked.
I don't know why that was blocked. Usually the full charge shoulder leads into the top heavy, but not there for some reason.
Might have been a little bit too slow in the activation, but that wasn't FAIRLIGHT. Taking Strippin down clean, 3-0.
He went for that zone attack, and FAIRLIGHT read it beautifully, just comes in with the zone. One of the fastest attacks in the game, the Warden zone, so well played by FAIRLIGHT. Even though it was 3-0, I think it was a little closer than that. All of the rounds were relatively close, so.
You'll see FAIRLIGHT taking off his headset. He's got a small break ahead of him as Strippin will continue and finish out his pool with a match against FATAL-FEIT.
Strippin versus FATAL-FEIT should be an interesting match. Fatal, from what I've seen, feels like the second strongest in the group.
Yeah, I would probably say so.
That being said,
He's patient.
yeah,
He's a lot more patient. And Strippin likes to swing wildly. This could hurt him against someone like the Warlord.
especially against the Warlord.
Especially against the Warlord. There he is on the screen, FATAL-FEIT, with the best record so far versus PETEMOO today.
Yeah, managed to take 2 rounds. That's more than a lot of people could say in the For Honor community.
In the entire world.
In general. And he's looking focused.
He knows a win here puts him tied with FAIRLIGHT. If he can beat both Strippin and FAIRLIGHT, he will move on to the Dominion show match as a 2nd seed.
Yeah, and that will be what he's looking to do. But Strippin now mainly playing for honor points. Can I say that?
That was, come on.
I'm sorry.
We're trying to do something.
It's
the world premiere of season 2. And you're
I'm
making
right. You're right.
jokes.
That was Bush League. I'm sorry. But I did have to do. You understand that I had to do.
I really don't understand that.
No,
Nope.
you don't even give me that little inch.
No.
Okay.
I train against PETEMOO.
All right.
Strippin and FATAL-FEIT on your screen. Strippin on notice here. If he loses this game, dunzo.
Dunzo. And like I said, though, I mean, jokes aside, he is 1-2 is most likely not going to move you along to the Dominion match. That being said, you know, obviously you don't want to go 0-3.
Right. If Strippin wins here, FATAL-FEIT has to beat FAIRLIGHT EXCALIBUR to draw a 3-way tie and force them to run the triad again, I'm pretty sure. Or I don't know if we have tiebreaker rules in effect.
I don't know that we've come up with that. I'm sure someone in our ear will yell at us that we have some sort of tiebreaker rule,
We're
but
gonna
for
find
now, we are unsure.
We are unsure. Strippin and Fatal Fate going in. This will be on Sanctuary Bridge, cloudy and dusk.
Cloudy and dusk. That's dramatic.
It is very dramatic.
Yeah.
Who do you got?
Who do I got? I want to see Strippin get a win.
Okay.
I got Strippin.
See, I like Fatal Fate here, not because of what we saw against PETEMOO, but against the fact that he's not a streamer or a YouTuber. This is a community member who doesn't enter tournaments, who has a chance to kind of prove his relevance, and I like that storyline.
Yeah, I would agree, and you know, we had a chance to talk to him backstage. Really nice guy, very humble. Didn't think he had a shot, but here he is, taking 2 rounds off of PETEMOO, and now we're going to the game. Strippin versus Fatal Fate. Strippin gonna be switching over to the Lawbringer.
That's very unexpected.
Yeah, Lawbringer, of course, we mentioned a couple of the buffs that came through in previous patches. Fatal Fate actually playing in the Warden right now is going to land really nice shoulder mix-ups to start, but that shove is going to answer that guard break attempt, and now Fatal Fate already out of stamina.
Both players actually making swaps here. The last time we saw Fatal Fate, it was Warlord all the way through. This time, Warden, and it seems to be working out of stamina. Strippin in a bit of trouble, trying to play that defensive game and get that green back, and he's back in it.
He tried the feint into the long arm, which is something that I don't even think I've seen before. Didn't work out for him, ended up out of stamina. He's gonna keep eating those shoulders. Honestly,
that's a big one.
That is the weakness I think he noticed. Able to avoid that heavy because he did backdash right before it came through.
Maybe in a bit of trouble. I don't think one heavy will finish it out here. I think he's got a bit more room than that. He's thrown heavy. I was wrong.
That is big damage. Is going to come through. Strippin going to go ahead and lose another round. Fatal Fate with the murder stare at his screen right now. He's all business.
Strippin on notice here. Hasn't won a round so far in his group. He went 0-3 against PETEMOO, 0-3 against FAIRLIGHT.
Yeah, he's trying some things. He's trying the Lawbringer adjustment. But right now, Fatal Fate showing that he's very competent with multiple characters. And once again, that second attack has been the bane of Strippin's existence now, just getting parried over and over again.
No.
And even an out-of-stamina attack leads to that overhead heavy.
I don't think he meant it. I think he was looking for a parry. I think he got a bit baited. Nice cancel again, opening him up. Fatal Fate 1 hit away from closing out round 2, and he's gonna get it.
Round 2 coming through with the style points, swinging around, cutting off Strippin's head. Feels good for him, man.
Less
Feels
smug,
real bad
still
for Strippin.
smug. Everybody's smug. Fatal Fate 1 round away from eliminating Strippin. And Strippin on notice here.
Here we go.
Another long road. This is the 3rd time he's now been in the situation where he has to win 3 straight to win the game.
I was really rooting for him there at the beginning, but he has not really shown us anything on this Lawbringer, unfortunately. And you know what I think, though, it's more of, it's just that Fatal Fate is a really good player.
So far, he's been playing fantastically. A few feints coming through, neither side connecting so far. Small advantage right now for Fatal Fate in health and in stamina. That light top, shutting him down.
Kind of saw the opposite when we watched PETEMOO as
That's
Lawbringer. Oh, that's going to be it. He's get the kick off of the ledge. Strippin, can we say going out in style? Being kicked off of a bridge. You know, there's not too more epic ways to go out, and Fatal Fate with a clean 3-0.
Another one. Poor Strippin, I think, played much better than his score represented, so a big thank you to Strippin. Fatal Fate, the unknown, the dark horse coming through, will face off against FAIRLIGHT Excalibur. The winner of this game will move on as the 2nd seed.
Yeah, you got to feel for Strippin there. He didn't show much in that last match. The Lawbringer switch, maybe not the best decision. He was making some good adjustments on Valkyrie, but you know, he decided I'm down 0-2. I might as well try something here.
FAIRLIGHT, you see, getting ready. Fatal Fate, I'm sure, already in the zone.
Yeah, he's getting to come in warm off of his fresh 3-0 victory, so that must feel good.
We're gonna see Warden mirrors?
I don't know. I think because he's playing against Warden, he'll go back to the Warlord.
I would like to see that, honestly.
Yeah.
I think the Warlord still has the advantage in the matchup, but FAIRLIGHT gonna have a fair amount of, I would imagine, experience in this matchup. Warlord, a very common character, but then again, I don't think there is a more common character than the Warden.
I think, yeah, of the most played characters, you got Warlord, Warden, and Conqueror, right? And right now, they're just very strong in the meta, especially in 1v1s. You'll see different things when you go into the 4v4 modes, but yeah, right now, as far as 1v1 goes, that's a lot of what you're seeing right now.
FAIRLIGHT on screen once again. Again, whoever wins this First to 3 rounds, moves on to the show match. You lose it, that's it.
And the one thing that Fairlight will have over FATAL-FEIT in this situation is that he's been on stage before. You know, he's done these kinds of events before. FATAL-FEIT, it's a pressure match. He's got to win to move on to the Dominion match, and it's, I'm assuming, his first time on stage doing anything like this, so.
Citadel Gate, rainy night. Once again on the mire. We're going to be watching
see the
Fatal.
Warden Mirror.
Yeah, we're going to watch FATAL-FEIT. Start off with that taunt. Fairlight, feint, not going to work. So far, no one drawing any blood. That one's going to miss, and the first hit's going to FATAL-FEIT.
Read that full charged heavy beautifully. As soon as you see that arm, you know that's what they're going for.
Ooh, that was a good tech by Fairlight, because at that position, that was the end of the round.
Yeah. Able to tech the guard break, goes for the feint into his own guard break attempt, not going to work out. Trying to see what he can bait out here. The light's going to come through, and he's going to throw him into the wall. It's going to be a heavy.
Big damage as well. Shoulder charge will connect, and he opens him up, maybe off the map, and that's going to be round number 1. FATAL-FEIT, another environmental fatality.
Yeah, except for that first time against PETEMOO, he's really shown good awareness of his position on the map and able to take advantage every time.
He is the only player to receive environmental fatality so far, and he has gotten one on all 3 of his opponents so far.
As you see the replay of the round here, there he goes, off the edge.
Hit him with the wave.
And he's gone.
There's no fatalities here, though. There's all combo potential. Fairlight a little bit quicker on the draw on that dash attack, and he's going to get it, but he misses that guard break tech, and he takes a heavy for it.
The trouble with that zone attack, it's usually very good guaranteed damage, but yeah, as it takes about half your stamina bar, so you can't really get much else off of it.
Okay, dodge rolls out of the vortex possibility. And another shot. This one's not going to open him up. Fairlight trying to answer back since he is at a health deficit. Low stamina right now for FATAL-FEIT as he's working it back. Zone attack as he gets closer to full. You'll see with a pretty big health deficit, Fairlight has to find a way to open up the defense.
Every Warden player we've seen today has gone for the one actual shoulder charge into the guard break attempt. I'm waiting to see people mix it up a little more.
It kind of gets to that muscle memory, like this is what I'm going to try to do. I feel like this is the most successful in public games, and maybe Fairlight and FATAL-FEIT don't have that competitive experience, so that mix-up isn't as necessary, but even out of stamina, gonna find it. Round number 2 for FATAL-FEIT, and Excalibur on notice.
That was so unfortunate for Fairlight. He thought he had the wall splat into the heavy, just didn't quite connect with the environment. FATAL-FEIT able to bait out his own guard break, and that was the end of the round.
Round 3.
Fair amount of rounds won.
Yeah.
He'll be very close. I mean, if there's a second place, FATAL-FEIT has done pretty well with it, considering it was a 3-0, a 2-3, and now has a chance for another 3-0. But Fairlight doing pretty well so far. It's about a bar and a half off that heavy, but it gets answered back immediately.
That's something that he's been doing really well, is checking with that overhead light, one of the Warden's fastest attacks. And we've seen FATAL-FEIT now go for 2 of those mix-ups, the unlock mix-ups, able to parry the light attack, which guarantees that overhead heavy.
Another countered guard break. Fairlight, oh, I was going to say is in some trouble, but he cancels the shoulder bash, which would have been guaranteed in that situation.
Again,
one of
those muscle memory things. You know, he was already planning in his head, I'm probably going to cancel this. Is going to catch him in the vortex twice, actually.
And he has the health advantage. One hit for Fairlight. He blocks correctly, knowing where it's going to come from. Heavy's going to bring them both down below. Critical zone's not going to do it. Fairlight gets opened up and eliminated.
FATAL-FEIT going to be moving on to the Dominion match with PETEMOO. Group A is now complete, and that was very well played from FATAL-FEIT. Really showing us some good stuff here.
FATAL-FEIT and PETEMOO will be winners of Group A. 2 wins for FATAL-FEIT, 1 win for Fairlight, nothing on the board for STRIPPIN, and of course, that clean 3-0 for PETEMOO. You'll see the first round of our final game from just clean environment. Last one, execution.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff from him, and he really was, he finally did mix it up well. I don't think they can hear us, but
if they can, like, good on him.
Yeah, that was really good stuff. He finally mixed up those shoulder mix-ups a little more, caught Fairlight trying to check for that guard break, and that brought him down to critical. It actually ended up being really close there at the end. And there were a few unfortunate missteps on Fairlight's side. That missed wall splat attempt there, and you know, it could have gone either way, but it was a relatively clean 3-0.
Yeah, well, Pete, gets his 3-0 in games. Fatal-FEIT winds up with 2. FAIRLIGHT with 1, and again, STRIPPIN not finding any points, but we're moving on to Group B coming up in just a second, which is going to be AVARUSTYRANNUS, SCOTTJUND, SYPHERPK, and Durandalcraft. Durandalcraft, actually one of the owners of the Hall of Heroes private Discord, which you can, try to join.
Yeah, and
where they set up competitive scrims and try to advance the meta as far as possible.
Make sure, you hit him up, and he also runs the FORHONOR Fight Club. If you're looking to get better at this game, those are the guys to go to, honestly.
We're going to throw it over to Bill. We're going to be talking a little bit with him and Eric Pope, the community developer for FORHONOR, and just get a little bit of their insight about how things went. Take it away, boys.
Hey, man, the community, yeah.
You're my boy, Fatal. Yes.
We're sitting over here, and I'm going, what do you want? He's like, I got to get Fatal. I got to get Fatal. And it happened.
Yes, and I mentioned at the top that these guys, our casters, might be surprised, and I think they would admit they were surprised. Fatal Rules, he's actually come out to the studio at Montreal to help us make the game better, and with something we continue to do on the community side. We do a lot of work with our community to improve the game experience. We've been doing it since before launch. We did a lot of those live periods since launch, and we're going to just continue to do it. And I think sort of on that same note, we're going to toss it to my fellow community developer, Emile, back out in Montreal, where he's going to sit down with our producer, Stéphane Carden, and they're going to talk about the state of the game.
Thank you, Mr. Pope. We're now in Montreal on the set of the Warriors Den, and with me, Stéphane Carden, our producer.
Yeah!
How are you,
Vikings, guys! Vikings!
Vikings. How are you, Stéphane?
Great. The Vikings won the first season.
That's true, that's true.
So super happy for my faction. Yeah, I can say my faction.
If it's your faction, you can say that, for sure.
No, I think it was fun to watch.
Yes.
You know, Samurai and Vikings being really close
The
last
Knights
round.
coming back.
Yeah, the Knights tried to win the first round ever on the first
War.
season.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that was fun until the end. We reached a tie break, and at the end the Vikings won. Good job.
Speaking of the faction war in the first season, what were your highlights of season 1?
Highlights. We have so many things that happened during that season. You launch a new IP, but you also launch a platform, right?
True.
This game will live for years. So the first one was, how do you drive that boat? We learned so much. Just the difference between what we saw during our live period and actually when the players got the chance to get the controller and play for weeks, for months. It's crazy. Now we go on the battlefield and we get our ass kicked by the players badly. So super fun. Everything didn't go all the time as planned.
For sure.
A lot of surprises, a lot of new things, but it's part of the adventure. When you launch something like that, you launch it for the long run. So now we are working really hard. I was really proud of how the team react. You know, we faced some adversity at some point. The team showed a lot of grit. We're working extremely hard, you know, and we keep our focus, right? We have clear priority, and the team is driving toward it. I'm super proud, and I think we're super lucky to have you guys because we have a so passionate community. I worked on previous game before, but it's the first time that I saw a community so engaged in the game.
Oh, yes. Very engaged, very vocal, and very devoted to this game.
So useful.
Oh, yes.
People don't realize that maybe sometimes, but go out there on the forum and when you guys pitch ideas and bring some issues that you're, you know, we're not in our ivory tower, right? We're trained to, we go out there, we look at the different comments. A lot of time we go back to our desk and we're like, oh my God, he's right. So how do we do that? And sometimes people bring ideas that we're like, he got it, and that's super inspiring for us.
You said a little words about priorities and the team. Actually, what is the team working on at the studio right now?
Plenty of stuff. The stability during game session for me remain a top priority.
Yeah.
And we put what I call a SWAT team on it, and I think they will be on it for the entire year, right? There's a lot there's a lot of things that we can improve. Same thing with matchmaking. It's a long fight, right? And then we try to improve a lot of stuff. I think Damien will speak a little bit more about it.
Thank you, Stefan. Would you have any words to say to the million people watching this stream at the moment and all of our community members out there?
But first of all, say, yes, we work on stability, but we also work on new content.
Yeah, that's true.
You need to go there, and tomorrow we're releasing something. We work super hard, and we're really excited. You know, the Shinobi and the Centurion, two amazing characters that will bring a new flavor to the battlefield. Really, really curious to see how you guys will play with them, how it will make the different strategies evolve. What you're going to find on those characters, how it will affect the ecosystem. I'm super curious to see that. And when we talk about new heroes, we also talk about new map.
That's true.
And, you know, when you look at the dev team and you see the assets that we delivered, and it's fun to watch the evolution.
Yes.
And when I look maps like the Forge and especially the Temple Garden.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's amazing. The LD level design team and the artists did an amazing job. And for me, the Temple Garden, I need to admit, I think it's the most beautiful maps we produced so far. So we have a team that work on content, but also improving the different features. So we plan to have different title updates and making sure that we react, balance our heroes, and make sure that we stay on the right track to continue improving the game during Season 2, as we did during Season 1.
And we'll have a Season 3 also at some point.
Of course. We have a part of the team that it's already on it. It's not that we switch focus. No, we have two different teams. One team that are more on the design, the conception phase, and one other team that are supporting the community, supporting the platform. So we need to be in advance, you know, of producing high quality assets like we have with our characters, and testing. The testing phase is so key, you know that.
Oh, yeah.
And, but we're working on tools also to test it before. We're testing it well in our environment. Now we're looking to test it with you guys a little bit earlier. So having the chance to bring a features, being able to give it to you guys at the beta state and make sure we are having feedback and we have that important interaction that we have with each other to make those features reach the goal that we both have.
Stefan, thank you very much again for coming.
Thanks again, and again, congrats to our Vikings factions that won that first season. You're going to be remembered.
So we're gonna get back with Damien a little bit later to talk about what's ahead, and also we're gonna play the Centurion and the Shinobi with Roman a little bit later on that stream. So stay tuned, guys, and back to you in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys. Man, I wish I had one of those like Viking things. Like he's swinging it around. I'm like, why can't I have one? It's got the holes in it. It's everything.
Half the people watching right now are like, what is he holding? I think it's like the key to the city of Montreal.
Is this going to come in the merch store next month? Like,
yeah.
But, okay, so they talked a lot about the state of the game, and I think one of the biggest things, and I know you can touch upon this as well, is how much the community and how much the team is wanting to listen to the community.
For me, it's really exceptional in terms of working in a community capacity where the devs are so involved and so interested in the community feedback, from things as small as little balance tweaks to big things about gear stats, about everything else. I sit right next to the game directors, and they, you know, I'm constantly sending them emails or IMs about stuff I'm reading online, and they respond to every single one, and I think that builds into a really incredible thing for our game, where hopefully we've seen it over the first season. We've established this process of building on the feedback of the community and improving the game, and people are going to see a lot of that in Season 2, especially with the overhaul of the gear stats, which Damien will talk about in a little bit. It's been really remarkable for me, really gratifying in a community job, because it's not always the case in game development, but this team for sure wants to hear what the community is saying. They know that they are the people that make it live and breathe, so it's just really, really cool.
Yeah, and coming up, we've got a lot of other opportunities that are going to allow you community members out there that love this game and love helping the developers, such as Eric here, improve anything and everything. But we've got a lot of action still left in store. Group B is coming up next. Casters, what do we have in store?
Going into Group B right now, and I just want to say before we get into it that is really good stuff to hear. As fans of the game, it feels good to know that they're listening.
I didn't hear anything aside from congratulations, Vikings.
Right. Well, that's because you're a dirty Viking and you need to go home right now. We
Go
don't even
home
have a
to
new
where
Viking
the giant
character.
area that we control in For Honor now.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Just stop. All right, we're
Group
going.
B.
Yeah, Group B right now. In Group B, we of course have SYPHERPK, as we talked about before.
This is the PETEMOO of Group B.
Yeah, if he's not number 1, he's number 2 right now. Definitely winning a lot of tournaments. He switched over to Warlord from Shugoki.
If there's any chance that he loses, it's going to be to Durandalcraft.
Yes.
Again, one of the leaders of the For Honor Fight Club alongside PETEMOO. One of the 4 parts of the Dominion team that PETEMOO is on as well. So, I mean, this guy is really like the player to watch aside from SYPHERPK. I would wager very heavily that these will be the 2 players walking out of Group B.
I think that you're probably right, but we also got SCOTTJUND in there. He, of course, runs his own tournaments, very good player himself. But I think right now we have an interview with Durandal on stage with Jump.
We do indeed. Now, Durandal, we just watched the feature on the state of the game, and we commented on how the developers are listening to community, but an integral part of what makes this game special is the community is also listening to the community. Now, you run the For Honor Fight Club. Talk to us a little bit about that and how that's helping increase the community that you guys have.
Yeah, for sure. I run the For Honor Fight Club. We work with a lot of groups in the community. We try to grow the scene. Recently, what we've done is we've worked on a lot of scrimming. So 4 versus 4 scrimming, trying to put teams together to hopefully be on the stage one day. So, for example, we have a team under Fight Club called Team Innervate. We're working on that, a Dominion team. There's other teams out there that we work with as well, For Honor Legends, For Glory. All you guys out there, awesome people. Everyone's working hard. Everyone's scrimming. We even have schedules going. So it's just the awesome part with growing the scene. And everyone has fun and try to make it more competitive and more fun.
Yeah. So the Fight Club's there, but the show match is here. So seeing what you have in your group, how are you feeling that these next few games are going to go?
Yeah, there's a couple of good players here and a couple of tournament winners. So it's going to be tough, but we'll see. Hopefully pull through.
Well, hey, hopefully you'll come out victorious. Good luck to you. But with that, Group B is ready to get underway. Let's get it on.
All right, we just heard from Durandal, but our first match is going to be SYPHERPK versus SCOTTJUND. I think we both know who we think will win, but Scott might show us something here.
It's going to be a 3-0.
You didn't have to, the camera's not even on you. You didn't even have to do that with your hands.
It's going to be a quick 3-0.
I don't know, Scott, he's looking pretty comfortable on stage there. He's looking relaxed.
If we see Cypher come out with Warlord and he drops the game, I got you with 10 bucks. You don't even have to bet against me.
All right. Cypher, did you hear? Are you going to play the Warlord
Cypher, I
fight?
swear.
Drop 1 round. All you need to do is lose 1 round.
Don't do this. Don't, please. Come on, man.
All right, and
What are you texting him? You're going to give him $5? Put your phone away.
Look, I need 10 bucks right now. I didn't have money for parking when I walked in here.
There you see SYPHERPK, one of the 2, I would say, most famous tournament players worldwide. I'd say this is the North American champion of PETEMOO, is of course the European or maybe even world champion. On the left, you'll see SCOTTJUND, tournament organizer, but I don't know if he's going to have what it takes, man. We're going to ride in from his position, Orochi versus the Warlord.
I love that we are getting to see Orochi here. Not something that is normally played in competitive.
To start the game.
Ooh, the Storm Rush tries to come through, and we do see the Warlord here from Cypher. Goes for that leaping attack. No parry, actually.
Yeah, that was, I mean, if there was a chance to parry.
Yeah, if you're going to land a, ooh, goes with the zone attack, though. He's going to get some guaranteed damage, but he gets caught on the backdash into the wall. Not quick enough with the heavy, though, to confirm it for some reason. Maybe a little bit of nerves. He is going to bait that, try to bait the parry attempt.
Oh, and overhead, decent damage.
This is a lot, so people like to say, like, you know, top light zone attack when it comes to Orochi. He's going to get wall splattered right there, but a lot of it, you know, when you talk about fighting games, the term footsies.
Yes.
Orochi is really one of those characters that actually has footsies in this game because you constantly have that Storm Rush dance.
Trying to get in, 2 guard breaks in a row, both countered. Cypher still on the losing end of this, if not very barely. An interesting note, I was going to say we haven't seen a single headbutt so far, but he throws out his first one, it lands, and he does take the advantage. Wall splatter not going to work. Side slash, overhead in round number 1, Cypher.
Scott just shaking his head there, realizing he got caught. I think he was trying to go into another Storm Rush. Cypher doing a great job. Right after that shield rush miss, turns around, gets the guard break, and closes out the round.
Oh, look at that. For Honor 17 at controlfreak.com, save 15% on your order.
Yeah, a lot of people play. I play with a controller myself.
Everyone at this tournament plays with a controller. Sans, Anthony Kongkwan, and there was one more. Who was the other one?
I'm not sure, but we are going into round 2 right now. This time from Cypher's perspective.
SACRIEL.
Starting things off.
SACRIEL.
SACRIEL. Mouse keyboard. Starting things off with the headbutt. Is going to get caught by those 2 top lights. Those, of course, if you hit the first one, confirms the second one, if you were unaware. See that Storm Rush dance we were talking about. Tries to go for the guard break, but Cypher not biting.
Wow. That side actually went through, but he's going to take one for it. Be feeling himself a little bit. Another light. And okay, some more damage. Guard break going to get canceled out. He wouldn't dare. No one would dare.
Actually, I think that Storm Rush might have landed. Cypher was dashing at the time. He keeps on baiting him with a heavy and then going in with those top lights. It's working out for him. He currently has the life lead.
Top light doing some damage. Wall splatter not going to work. Chance. And not quick enough. Double top. Feint into a confirm, but doesn't do enough damage. Zone attack not going to work. And oh, answers back 1-1.
And that is the strength of that Storm Rush dance, is you can kind of go back and forth, see when your opponent's going to throw out an attack, and you can really whiff punish easily with it. You just kind of let it rip when you see them go for an attack, and it comes through, guarantees the 2 top lights, but he didn't even need it there to cut off Cypher's head.
Going into round number 3, Cypher. Maybe having some trouble.
You know, Orochi is not a common matchup, so it's possible he's just very not used to playing an Orochi.
2 lights in a row. Good start off for Cypher in round number 3. It's going to get answered back. Still a life lead.
There you go. Goes for that top light, and Cypher's a player that really is good at parrying lights. Those are going to start to be unsafe as the match wears on. He is going to land the deflect there, though, only into the light version.
Another top light. Cypher, you'll note, is not using a lot of headbutts. This is probably the least amount of headbutts that I've seen from a Warlord player ever in tournament.
Got caught going into that all block stance with the guard break. Is going to use that superior block there to be able to land that attack. Didn't get caught dashing again, though. The heavy comes through, tries to bait it out into the zone. SCOTTJUND taking a lead here against Cypher.
2-1 has a chance to maybe walk out of this pool. If he wins this game, it would be very hard for him to not walk out of this pool.
Cypher, that smile's off his face now. He's not looking very happy.
I mean, Cypher walking into this, there's, you know, kind of a big weight on his shoulders. I mean, losing this game is awkward for him, whereas SCOTTJUND, I mean, he doesn't really have anything to lose here. Losing to Cypher, I mean, that's not a loss that you would ever really consider to be a bad loss. Going right up to the, once again on the veranda.
There we go.
Starting off again from Cypher's perspective.
I think he really needs to start mixing those headbutts more. It's possible there's something I don't know about the matchup. He is going to parry that top light, as we mentioned, into the heavy. More and more of those top lights are going to be start to be read by Cypher here.
Zone attack for decent damage. Counter guard break. This is a little bit more of the Cypher that we kind of knew. I haven't taken any hits yet, and you are at critical health.
Canceling that Storm Rush at the last second there. Guard break's not going to work out for him. Goes for that top light again. It's so risky at this point. Cypher's looking for it. Goes for some unlock stuff there. Not going to work out. Finally, SCOTTJUND's on the board with a little bit of damage.
Another light. 2 Warlord combos will do it. I don't know if a light will be enough. It'll be closed zone for sure will be enough, and we're going to round number 5.
And it's always so surprising how far that zone attack reaches. Caught him on the backdash, and that closes out the round.
I think Scott's in his own head. He got pretty close, and he started overthinking things. His reaction time was slower. He was being more predictable, which led to the light parry. We're going to go into round number 5. Cypher, not terribly unfamiliar with being put on the back foot, considering how many times he's fought into PETEMOO, but has a chance to close this one out.
Honestly, Scott, he's playing real solid, but at this point, it really feels like Cypher's gotten a handle on what he wants to do. We'll see if Scott has any more tricks in the bag right now. Perhaps go for that slam dunk, as I call it, that backstep heavy. He's going to get caught with a heavy there from Cypher, though.
Feigning, using a lot of stamina. Warlord combo going to get, again, a small amount of damage, usually about 1/3 of a bar.
What we've really seen most is Cypher's really just shoring up his game, taking way less risks, going for less of those unlocks. He is going to get caught with that double light, though, which pretty much evens up the health bars.
Both players trying to keep space. This is a range I feel is a little bit better for Orochi. Oh, zone attack, though, coming through. Big damage again for Cypher, and he takes the life lead. Little under a bar advantage, and he's going to turn it into a full bar.
Oh, he's actually going to catch him that time, but he doesn't go for the full thing into the wall. I actually think he might have had it there.
I think that Cypher assumed he wasn't going to land it, so he canceled it as soon as possible to go into a more defensive stance. Warlord combo going to put him under a bar. SCOTTJUND on notice needs 3 successful initiations, and it's going to be 0 for him as a quick zone attack will end the game. Cypher not doing as strongly as we would have expected, but still closing out 3-2.
I think it's one of those things where it's just a matchup unfamiliarity. You don't see Orochis a lot when it comes to competitive, and that's what Cypher's used to playing. He did tighten his game up a lot there, and the biggest adjustment he made was he was using those zone attacks to close the gap whenever Scott would try to either backdash or go into that storm rush.
See the second round coming through, and answer back. And then just quick slash, bringing him all the way to round 5, and then that was the zone attack.
That was the zone attack that closed things out, but I think we maybe underestimated Mr. Jund here a little bit.
Perhaps.
Playing quite well on the Orochi. Orochi, one of my favorite characters, so always good to see him playing, getting some shine. Able to deflect and attack even, which is cool. Look, I just like seeing the Orochi do his stuff.
Similarly to PETEMOO, Cypher will be playing all 3 of his games in a row to make the pool as efficient as possible. He'll be going up against his next opponent in just a second, which will be Durandalcraft, teammate to PETEMOO and Dominion. Again, one of the leaders of the For Honor Fight Club, longtime community member, tournament entrant. I mean, the guy has a very long resume, which could help him going up against Cypher.
When we looked at these groups originally, I think we both went through and we were like, okay, PETEMOO, Cypher, ISKYS, maybe Anthony Kong fan or True Talent, but we overlooked a few people, and Durandalcraft, a very skilled player.
This guy's great.
I'm excited to see this matchup. I believe he plays mostly Peacekeeper, he said, correct?
I think he did say that he's going to be playing Peacekeeper today. He said, yeah, Peacekeeper.
A dirty PK.
Outside of For Honor, he actually does have a fair amount of MOBA experience. So Footsie's being a big part there, being able to outthink your opponent, very important in MOBAs. We also see him taking second place a lot in a lot of the 2v2 tournaments, playing actually not with PETEMOO, but with some of his other teammates. But still, second place outside of Cypher and PETEMOO is a very impressive thing. Well, then, of course, SKYS and King Richard as well.
I think it's lucky for Cypher that he had that warm-up match, because if he was playing Durandal first game, he might have lost it there. That was very surprising, to say the least.
On the screen, looking a little more nervous than usual. We have seen Cypher, I think, susceptible to tilt.
He's definitely an emotional player. He very much feels his mistakes.
Yes.
So when he notices, especially like a glaring error, it's something that tends to get in his head a little bit. And we will be seeing Lawbringer versus PK.
Okay, so going into Lawbringer, this is something that he tried even before the PK nerfs had come through. So there's a possibility he has a lot of understanding of this matchup, even in Season 2.
The further nerf of PK, of course, in this patch is that the bleed damage is a bit less on the triple stab.
Right.
Especially on the first 2 stabs, but overall a little less as well. So
this ensures that you don't always go for the environmental push into the 4-hit combo. Right now, you normally want to go for just the bleeds.
Yeah. Although in a 1v1 scenario, that can lead to revenge situations, so you have to be careful there as well.
Nice feint, not going to work. Goes in for the counter guard break. Wow, Durandal getting 2 big swings off. He tries to close the round out. That one's going to get blocked. And again, a quick block. Cypher trying to keep himself alive here.
It's one of those, oh wow, he's going to eat the light, and the double light attacks are going to come through. Cypher dropping the first round, and everyone falls victim to that. The light attacks come out so fast. It's just one of those things, even after the nerf, that's what PK does best.
Round number 2 coming up in just a second. Remember, we are on Shipyard at dawn. Careful now, putting your back to that environmental fatality. That could be trouble. Oh, I just said don't do that.
You just told him to be careful.
He's not listening.
Man.
Not listening. he looks over at Cypher. He's like, all right, man, you got that one. I'm going to give that one to you. And let's get the replay real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, I have an idea. I'm just going to go for it.
That light attack getting parried. And of course, light attacks leading to a bigger punish off of the parry. Normally, a Lawbringer would go for that overhead heavy, which is guaranteed.
No.
And oh, wow, he actually is not going to carry him all the way off the ledge.
But I like it. He pushes him onto the bridge, but then Durandal's like, there's no way I'm fighting you out there. So he dodges past him, using his stamina to put himself into a safer situation.
One of the things that we're so used to seeing from Cypher is that he's just really, really good at parrying light attacks and even zone attacks in some instances. We've seen him pretty reliably parry PK zone attacks sometimes.
Oh, slight tap. Decent damage. That shove's not going to hit, and Durandal back into the green with the stamina.
Once again, parrying into the wall, and the heavy and the light afterward is going to confirm as well, but Cypher finds himself out of stamina. Not the worst situation for him. He is currently back in the green, and now it's actually Durandal who's in trouble.
Durandal actually draining himself. He's in a lot of trouble. Can't punish it, and that's going to be the round. Even out of stamina. Round 3 going to Cypher, 2-1 so far.
Tough situation for Durandal there, finding himself out of stamina on critical health, so you have to respect the unblockable there, go for the parry attempt, and that led to the end of the round for him. Here's that beautiful punish off of the light parry. Gets that wall splat into the heavy, into the light. Beautiful stuff.
Jumping right into it. You got to be careful of that saw. It won't immediately end the round, but it does do a significant amount of damage.
Yeah, people always ask for all these balance changes and stuff. I want to see a saw execution animation.
3-hit combo coming out from Cypher. Decent damage and a pretty significant life lead. Almost 2 bars ahead right now. Yep, there's the 2 bars, and it's going to get worse. And another follow-up in critical health right now. Durandal in some trouble. This is his final round against Cypher. If he loses it.
Cypher really taking the lessons that he learned from playing. Oh, nice parry there, and that's going to be into the buzzsaw. It doesn't actually go for any bleed attempts first. He missed out on some damage there.
Yeah, bleed into the saw would have been his top punish. And that should be the end of the round. Execution spelled it, and so far 2 wins for Cypher.
Once again, we talked about it before, really good at parrying those light attacks, and he has practiced against PK a lot. Because let's face it, everyone hates a good PK player. So when you're playing tournaments, that's who you want to prepare for most of the time.
There's a lot of them. And his skill floor is very, very low, allowing players to get into competitive a little faster than others. You don't have to rely as much on parries. You go for just clean guard breaks. Whereas Lawbringer, I mean, you need pretty much everything.
Yeah. And, you know, it's just, everyone has a pocket PK. That's what we always say, you know. It's just one of those characters where everyone's got one in the back pocket.
Next up, Cypher will be finishing out his pool by playing against AVARUSTYRANNUS. Now, AVARUSTYRANNUS, a relatively unknown tournament player, community leader, Berserker player.
Yeah, I know you're very excited.
Cheering for him.
You held back a smile when you said Berserker player there.
Player. I mean, I have little hope that he's going to win. Because I know, but like...
You know the struggle.
I'm cheering for the kid.
It's tough, man. You do have the deflect, which is it is the strongest deflect in the game. Let's be real about that.
By a very significant margin, and you have multiple ways into it.
Multiple ways into it. The tool we talk about most is that light cancel into the dash. You can actually, the only character in the game, as far as I know, that can cancel a light attack.
You can cancel your light to bait out a parry, which is because his lights are fairly slow. You can cancel the light to bait out a parry and then dash into the parry, you know, the heavy attack to guarantee a guard break. And then if you're near a wall, that's top heavy.
Yeah, a lot of your offense comes from feinting the heavy. And so when you're feinting the heavy into the light, if you notice that they're committing to the attack, you just cancel right into the dash, leads to a throw, and at the very least, a side heavy.
So that's AVARUSTYRANNUS on the left side. Of course, SYPHERPK, I'm sure you're all familiar with by now, looking for his 3rd win.
We don't really know what he'll be playing. Maybe he'll break out the Shugoki against this unfamiliar opponent.
And
actually, Shugoki being played by AVARUSTYRANNUS.
That's not a Berserker.
Raider going to be taken on by SYPHERPK here.
I've been bamboozled. I am rooting for a swift death. Toy with my emotions, fool.
Catches the dash. He is going to go into the Demon Ball there for a little bit of damage, but he makes some space, which is what he needs to get that the armor back up. Going to eat a light. Oh! He tried to go into that Demon's Embrace. It came out just a little too slowly, and he was unfortunately not in what do we call the stance? The armor stance. Uninterruptible stance. So he did take extra damage even from that zone.
Let's watch it one more time. Just takes a heavy to the side and then spins around, goes for the Demon's Embrace, not going to catch him, and that unblockable very quick.
Yeah, especially that was the second one in the chain, so it's even extra damage than normal.
Swings it right away. Both players actually swinging pretty wildly, but it's going to be, oh, goes for another one. Nope, it's going to be canceled out. Smart on both sides.
And when you're ciphering, you're used to parrying Peacekeeper lights. A Shugoki light feels like parrying a normal heavy.
Yeah, exactly. Out of stamina, but it returns. And immediately Cypher back on offense.
He's definitely tightened his game up a bit since the SCOTTJUND match. He is going to eat a light there. No headbutt to follow up, but he is going to be thrown into the wall, and that will link into the Demon's Embrace. So it's going to be a huge life deficit for Cypher this round. See Cypher smiling a bit. He's like, that's my steez.
I'm used to getting hit by this.
And he's used to doing it to people. He kind of pioneered a lot of the Shugoki options.
Oh, but the Pete moveset from the end of War Rising, man.
Oh, man. That was
twice. Just 2 times. Big swings, but an out-of-stamina Raider a little bit slower. And a pretty significant advantage to Tyrannus.
It's one of those things Shugoki has. It's the only ability like it in the game that can cause these gigantic life swings. He's going to back off and give the hoorahs a little bit.
Avarus not following up. I'm not really sure. He's going to take some damage. Another swing, and he lets it rock. Look at the damage.
Did not respect that, and he goes into the stunning tap, tries for the light to close it out. Is not going to work out. Now he's out of stamina.
Oh, Avarus? No, actually puts himself... No, he fades out, puts himself out of stamina, and ends the round with it. 0-2, and so far, Cypher looking good.
Looking real strong, 0-2. A few more signs of life there that round from Mr. Avarustyrannus. Looking a little bit confused at the screen right now. Gives a little yawn. It's like, I'm tired of playing this raid right now.
He's cosplaying the Shugoki.
Yeah.
I feel like Shugoki's a yawner.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of rice, and then he yawns. Goes for that Oni charge, but is the nerfed version, of course. He's going to get that throw. Oh, goes for the Demon's Embrace, and that's going to be a big punish now. Able to... Wow, he parries it. Going to get a knockdown here. Just goes for that charged heavy, though.
Out of stamina, and will get no knocked out. He chose the environment, Cypher. Both of them waiting for their stamina to come back. Cypher will go on offense first. There's the lights blocked. Counter guard break not going to work. And a good follow-up. Drains a lot of stamina and keeps Cypher locked down.
That really is the bread and butter of Shugoki, is trading with that light. Actually, he's going to find himself out of stamina now, so he's not really going to get anything off of this other than a taunt. Which, you know, is something. It does mental damage.
Both players under 2 bars. And a good swing. This is trouble. And off the map he goes. 3-0. Cypher gonna end his pool 3-0 as well and walk out first seed to tie up with PETEMOO.
Given some hoorahs as he throws the meatball into the stew. Unfortunate for our Shugoki, but you know, if a Shugoki's gonna go out, he might as well go out in a stew.
What's funny is Cypher ends the Group B with the same exact record as PETEMOO. He won 3-2, 3-1, 3-0 using 3 different characters. Didn't want to be shown up. Cypher just showing Europe that he's here to play.
Yeah, he's here to play, and it is what we predicted. It was a bit harder for him than we thought it would be. SCOTTJUND really put up a good showing on that Orochi in the first match. I'm excited to see how the rest of this group is going to play out, as we really just saw Cypher kind of, after that first match, just dominating. But I think we have Cypher on the stage right now with Jump, so let's go to that.
Cypher, 1-2-3 domination, going 3-0 in your group, as well as changing out the different heroes that you played. What was your mentality, just being as versatile as you were with that?
Well played to my opponents, and I kind of just wanted to show off that I have, you know, mastery of different classes. But to be honest with you, I really wanted to fight PETEMOO today. It's unfortunate he's not in my group.
Hey, 3-0 already. There is a chance that you can play him in a little bit. Now, with that, you're excited for PETEMOO. Looking into the other groups, who do you see as kind of some of the other standout people, apart from your teammate? This doesn't count.
Oh, which teammate?
Outside of ISKYS, of course.
Oh, okay. SKYS, yeah, for sure. There's a few other people that stood out to me, but I'm really curious about the people that I haven't seen playing in tournaments. There's FATAL-FEIT from the first group. I haven't really seen him play before, and he put on a show. So I'm excited to see if there's going to be any hidden talent out there.
Well, there's definitely some hidden talent abroad as we have two other groups to be in store for us. Go ahead, take you a seat. Thank you again so much, casters. Break down the last piece of that group as we come in now.
We are not done with Group B. We still have 3 more games to go. SCOTTJUND will be sitting down to play his remaining opponents, Durandalcraft and AVARUSTYRANNUS, who will finish off by playing each other in the end.
Yeah, but right now we have some tweets coming in.
Hey.
Mount Mikey says, I can't wait to play both Shinobi and Centurion. If I had to pick, though, then hashtag Centurion all the way.
She like,
I have to.
She like that?
But did you go with the thumbs down?
Yeah, no, I thumbs down.
Because I
at the
thumbs
end.
up that.
No, that's terrible.
No, Centurion all the way. Man.
All Shinobi. We got another one. Let's see. Gammatic. Oh, okay, it's gone. Gene Doffing. These Vikings need to calm down.
You do.
Can we get
you
some
do need to
actual
calm
tweets
down.
up here? This is nonsense.
You need to calm down, sir. It's a little embarrassing how much you
Can't wait to get into season 2 at Centurion. Come on, Knights.
You probably one of those tweeting out Deus Volt and all that stuff. Stop it.
When are we getting back into the
Yeah,
games?
Reaper92 says, been here since Alpha with Team Samurai.
Okay.
Can't wait to play the Shinobi
right.
tomorrow. Look, I'm excited to play Shinobi too. He looks sick. He has a ton of cool mix-ups.
He's so fun.
Yeah.
We had a small chance to be able to play him yesterday, a little bit this morning, so that way we have a better understanding of what the characters can do going to the show match, and we had a ton of fun. They go live tomorrow at 8 a.m., I think, Eastern.
Yep.
If you're a Season Pass holder, you're able to grab those characters immediately. Non-Season Pass holders have 1 week before they'll be able to get their hands on.
Yep. And in the meantime, we have our 4th match coming up here between SCOTTJUND and Durandalcraft. What do you think going into this? Because going in, my thought was Durandalcraft will easily be 2nd place, but SCOTTJUND showed us some stuff.
I think SCOTTJUND was playing up very significantly, and I think Cypher was playing down very significantly. He missed easy parries. He was getting hit by things he normally doesn't get hit by, and I think there was a little bit of stage nerves. Don't look at me. I can see you over there. I still got Durandal here. I'm going to call it 3-1.
All right. I think you're probably pretty accurate. PK versus Orochi, it's a tough matchup for Orochi.
We're going to be on Shard, by the way, at dusk.
It's a scenario where it feels like that was a great block into the zone attack, but oftentimes in this matchup, it feels like a case of anything you can do, I can do better. I don't feel that way, but that's how it kind of plays out sometimes.
That top light twice in a row, lots of damage. Overhead, twice, top canceled.
It's actually
critical health.
A little unfortunate for Scott. I think if he had just committed to the 3rd top light, it would have worked out for him. He would have closed out the round. Not giving him any space to breathe. Usually it's the other way around, but now Durandal playing the role of dash keeper as he's just trying to make some space for himself.
If I was Durandal, I'd be blocking most likely high, looking for that double hit.
We're at a point in the game now where zones become very dangerous.
Yes. Hit him, bled him, and that's trouble. If he doesn't get hit, bleeds out, and he recognizes his death first to Durandal.
He goes out in style, but it's one of those things, it's an option you don't see PK go to often because that dash heavy is very easy to parry. Even for a player as bad as myself, I tend to be able to parry that attack relatively regularly. So usually kind of risky, but you know, by that token, a lot of people don't go for it, and sometimes it works out for you.
Looking at Durandalcraft this time. So far, small advantage zone in and out very quickly and gets that damage off.
Top lights do come through. Answers back a little bit from Durandal with a light of his own.
That's going to connect. That's a 3-hit and a lot of damage. Top not going to get hit, but still almost critical health right now for Peacekeeper. Heavy might do it.
I think a heavy would do it at this point. Yeah, just the Storm Rush could close it out. You see him constantly trying to bait things out there, and he is just going to commit to that top light. That closes out the round 1-1.
That's what I'm saying. You're fighting Orochi, just hold it light, just hold it top. The sides are quick, but they're not that quick.
People talk about your resting guard, and that is 100% where your resting guard should be against an Orochi player.
Though, you got to remember, the assassin blocking, she can't hold that top, so...
You stance into it regularly. Yeah.
1-1 so far. SCOTTJUND starting off strong.
Couple guard break attempts. Tries to commit to that Storm Rush, and it's a good option because he's been baiting it out so much, just canceling it.
Just let that heavy rip. Didn't get parried, though.
I think both players a bit surprised, letting attacks rip a little bit. Durandal getting in there. Oh, nice light to stop that dash. But PK Zone actually has, once again, a decent amount of range on it. So a lot of times you see Peacekeepers that are feeling a little more defensive play from this range because they can do stuff like that. Dash in with the heavy or dash in with the zone.
There's another top light. This time it's going to get parried. Not switching it up enough. All 3 bleeds come through. Look at that revenge meter building very quickly, though. It's at the end, and it's going to be 1-2. Still in favor of Durandalcraft.
So
respect nod there.
It's just so easy to panic when you have that bleed on. You're like, I got to do something, and then you're just pressing buttons, end up getting picked
you gotta
apart.
press buttons.
Yeah.
Round 4.
Going into round number 4 here. SCOTTJUND down 1-2, but definitely not out.
2 games straight he needs, or 2 rounds, I should say. Starts off again. Durandal with the first hit.
Tries to bait that
Have we
heavy.
seen a guard break? We've seen 1 set of bleeds so far, but I think that's it.
Yeah, I think so. Both players really on those techs right now. Ooh, if he had committed to that Storm Rush, he actually might have caught him, but instead he's just going to eat 2 lights for his trouble.
Another chance, no. Durandal still with a small lead. Zone attack does decent damage, and he continues to attack. Almost every single time he's done a zone, he's backed off and stayed until that health or that stamina came back. But he goes aggressive. This is the mix-ups we've been looking for. Uh-oh. Don't get perfected, son. Not on stream. There you go.
Yeah, he is going to get those 2 lights in there. And something smart Durandal did, he committed to 3 lights from the same side. And, you know, that sounds silly, as he eats 2 lights of zone there. But a lot of times when you stay on the same side, people anticipate the switch.
Yes.
So you will get picked apart easily that way.
SCOTTJUND, critical health. If he loses this round, this pool is most likely curtains. Lead, and again, he's gonna have to just accept his fate. Durandalcraft gets the kill and the execution.
Gonna close things out in style with the roll over the back into the execution. Beautiful stuff there from Durandal, staying patient. And look, people talk about PK and they get upset, but he really played that well. He was realizing that in-your-face style wasn't working for him, so he backed off to more of a mid-range, played out, you know, more patiently, and it worked out for him.
It's funny because that's where Scott has been playing. Against Cypher, he was the most successful from that mid-range, but I think Durandal recognized that as well. He let Scott stay at that mid-range, waited for him to make possibly foolish mistakes, and as a result, was able to pick him apart.
Yeah.
Also 3-1, I'm just saying, like,
What are you just saying?
I'm just saying, 3-1 is what I said it would happen.
Right, you did. That was your prediction, so you're a good predictor.
It's fine.
Is that what you need?
Group B, Cypher already out. Durandalcraft on his way out will have 1 more game, but he's going to end the pool. We're going to stick around with SCOTTJUND as he faces off next against AVARUSTYRANNUS.
I'm excited to see this one. AVARUSTYRANNUS, he once again put up a good performance against Cypher. Same situation as in Group A. It's just one of those things where we kind of gauged each player as how they did against the god of their group.
Right.
And now we get to see how these matches play out. I'm excited. I get pumped to see Orochi play every time.
You know, earlier on we had an interview with Cypher, and he said, I'm excited to see the unknown players. I already know SKYS, I know PETEMOO. I want to see the unknown players, and this is one of them. AVARUSTYRANNUS, we've seen him play Shugoki. We know that he plays Berserker. He's going to be going up against Orochi. So this will be, no matter what, a matchup that I think, at least in Season 2, we're unfamiliar with.
I believe in this matchup, you're going to finally get to see your Berserker.
Yeah?
Yeah, because Shugoki versus the Orochi, it's not a great matchup.
I've already swallowed this pill. I'm not getting baited again.
Yeah.
Okay?
I can tell you're hurt.
I am very hurt.
But if we're looking at it, it is a much better matchup for him than playing as Shugoki, especially now that the Oni charge was nerfed a bit. That armor gets completely taken away by that double top light, so one of the strengths of Shugoki in this matchup is completely removed.
You see Avarus, that's Durandal as well. Are we switching?
Are we
going
switching?
to Durandal?
Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to be doing instead AVARUSTYRANNUS versus Durandalcraft.
Okay, so it's going to be Durandal playing 2 games in a row. So then Avarus will be finishing the next 2 games to finish out the pool. You'll see Avarus on your screen again. Again, Berserker, Shugoki, we've seen him play so far. Might have other things. We'll see as we're going to be getting into it. AVARUSTYRANNUS on the left side, Durandalcraft on the right.
Same thing in theory. It's a tough matchup when Shugoki plays Peacekeeper 2 because the attacks come out so quick. Oftentimes you can still trade with a light into a headbutt, but We'll see what we're dealing with here when we do get to see the Berserker. I'm going to let you take this one away.
So far, starts the infinite combo doing pretty well. Peacekeeper, a pretty hard matchup, but he can do a lot of damage. One deflect spells so much, and he goes for that. Oh, it's one of my favorite sounds. It's the only one that does it, that guard break. There it is!
Oh, he lets that heavy rip off of the uninterruptible stance. It's so smart. A few whiffs lead into that fourth attack, which gives him the uninterruptible.
Second attack.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It got buffed. And that overhead finisher, one of the most damaging attack. In fact, the most damaging attack in the whole game, other than the charged Shugoki heavy.
Which is fantastic. Oh, it's just a game, dude. Don't lose your head over it.
Hilarious.
Thanks. Starting off with the zone, it's a little bit dangerous, and immediately going into the infinite combo. Light trying to open him up and not going to find it. Another Light going to get parried, and that's not the place you want to be. Oh.
Off the ledge with him. He had such a strong showing in the first round, and he opened things up so well there, but Durandal...
Good fight, good fight, good fight.
Yeah, that's what you always see. Wow. Especially when you throw someone off the salt level. You can always gauge the salt level by how many wows come out.
Exactly. Going into round number 3, no environmental fatality on this one, but the environment is still there to be used, which is a bigger benefit. Also, Berserker's biggest advantage in this matchup is the deflect, which should have been used against Durandal off that dash attack, one of the slowest attacks that Peacekeeper has. That could have resulted in a big hit. A little bit too slow on the draw. Durandal still at a slight health disadvantage, but there that goes.
Yeah, that light attack gets read into the parry, and now he's just getting picked apart. Oh, able to land that deflect. That gives him the side heavy and the uninterruptible stance. Gets one light afterwards, but that isn't going. The guard break attempt isn't going to come through. Eats a zone attack in the meantime.
You'll notice that Durandal's playing a little bit more passively, making sure that he's not running out of stamina. If you run out of stamina against Berserker, you will die.
Closing the round out there, very strong with that light attack. Realizing that he had a little bit more life to take care of there. The bleed wasn't going to quite close it out. Durandalcraft now up 2-1.
Trying to close it out. If Durandal wins the next round, he will leave this pool second seed, guaranteed. Wow, good fight.
Big fight. Wow, thanks.
Thanks. Wow.
Really, you know, complicated communication.
Yeah, super polite, too. Just saying thank you.
You don't really think of Berserkers as polite.
So far, a small health advantage for AVARUSTYRANNUS. And I'll say, I like the Berserker play a lot better than I like the Shugoki. Nice block from Durandal. Guard break not going to work again.
Going for those whiff attacks right into the uninterruptible. That's so strong.
Very smart.
After 2 attacks, it's just such a good tool, knowing especially that his attacks will trade better. Is going to eat 2 lights, though.
That guard break not going to work again. That one's not getting parried. Goes for the third hit. Blocked and zone attack. Trades back a light again. Guard break too slow. That's what we're looking for, but he throws him in. Top heavy's going to do it. And Durandal may be in a little bit of trouble here.
The weakness of PK in this matchup is that you're throwing out those lights all the time, and if you're constantly throwing out lights and you're not spacing them correctly, you're going to get deflected at some point. Very good recognition by Avarus there, noticing that he was right next to that mid-fire pit and throws him into it, gets the top heavy.
Not the bridge again. Not like this. Zone attack to start. Durandal with an advantage.
Avarus,
no!
He's getting baited out onto the ledge a little bit there.
Whiffing a guard break next to an open ledge, man. His light flashed before my eyes.
Getting backed up a little bit to another dangerous part of the map. He is going to get parried, but I think he's a little too far from the ledge,
he's good.
Durandal just going to commit to that triple bleed and the zone attack afterward. He's going to need a little more work to close this out, though. The zone attack's going to do it. A nod of approval from AVARUSTYRANNUS. Durandalcraft shaking his head as well. Very close match, very highly contested. Once again, I'm very impressed with the Berserker play, but Durandal is going to take it.
With that, both SCOTTJUND and AVARUSTYRANNUS are eliminated. Do we intend to still watch the match?
I believe that we intend to still watch the match.
Still going to watch it. We want to make sure that we have an accurate representation for what happens at the end of the group, and oh man, you hate to see those kinds of things happen to Berserkers.
That first round, though, that was hype.
It was very hype. Look at that. Delicious.
Delicious. That is one way to describe it.
I like watching Berserkers win. That was a great showing by AVARUSTYRANNUS.
So this last match for Pride,
yes.
Who do you have?
I got to go with my Berserker brethren.
Of AVARUSTYRANNUS, and then
Hell yeah.
I will take SCOTTJUND as I am a fellow weeb, sir. I salute you. What? Don't look at me that way.
It's fine. do you, man.
Yeah, I'm going to do me.
Just do you. But it will be Cypher and Durandalcraft moving on to the show match. We'll be starting Group C in just a little bit, but we want to finish up Group B, make sure everything's accounted for. You'll see SCOTTJUND on your screen. Maybe looking a bit disappointed considering the fact that this match can't get him into that show match. And I think after the way he played against Cypher, he was kind of expecting that second place, but didn't earn it.
He will be excited to know that he gets to mess around with the new characters backstage, at least. So that's a nice plus. He gets to play them a day early, but not going to get to participate in the Dominion match, unfortunately.
Goofy. Goofy guy.
Avarus with a little shrug there.
I want to see him do well. I'm excited to see this. Come on, Berserker, play again. Berserker!
Yeah?
Come on.
No? He can hear you if you're loud enough. You can just yell at him, Berserker, and really embarrass yourself.
Is that what you want?
I think that's what you want.
That is what I want. If he doesn't pick Berserker, I'm rooting for, I don't know, one of their PCs to shut down.
Wow.
Sorry, don't root for Samurai.
Oh, hey.
Oh, come on.
Unfortunately for you, we are going to be seeing the Nobushi, but fortunately for me, I love watching Nobushi players, and I know you have a particular hate for them. You don't think they're very good, but...
I don't think the character is all that powerful, but I love watching the playstyle. Very quick pokes, medium range, one of the few characters in the game that like kind of extend past that normal melee range. Careful with that stamina, boy.
That zone attack, a very good tool, as with a lot of other characters in the game, but it does drain your stamina quite a bit.
That's trouble right next to the fire. No, doesn't actually go in.
He decided instead to just go for that top light, realizing that a lot of times, wow, great top lights once again, just really committing those to close out the round, but a lot of times against, and you can tell that Scott plays a lot of Orochi against Nobushi, when you get a pair, you're too far away to get the guard break, so you have to just go into those top lights.
Also, shoutouts to Avarus, playing 3 characters at a competitive level. Very impressive. Oh, gotta love those Orochis running away.
Well, you know,
keeping the meme alive.
This is the honor zone right here on this level.
Sure, man.
Yeah, you gotta step up into the temple.
Swung a heavy right through. He's going to run out of stamina, but decent damage. Life lead, but just barely. Both players at risk. A guard break will do it. A parry will do it. No, a little bit safer now.
See SCOTTJUND moving up here into a safer position. Poke is going to come through from Avarus, but he is going to have his guard break teched.
Bleed. And you'll see a small amount of damage coming out from Scott as well. That one's going to be a deflect.
And he commits to the Hurricane Blast, not something you see often in the zone right afterward. Will close it out.
That was a major panic from AVARUSTYRANNUS, not recognizing what was in front of him. A quick dodge would have resulted likely in the round, as I'm pretty sure you can guard break that.
I don't think after the deflect that you can guard break it, but I know you can get out of the...
No, I'm saying if you dodge out of the way, you can guard break.
Oh, if you dodge out of the way of the Hurricane. Yes, yeah, I believe you are correct.
But panic sets in sometimes. You see that flame icon appear on your screen, and I think the nerves have gotten the better of him. Putting his back to the corner, taking multiple lights, going for a guard break. He's parried, in some trouble. Don't get perfected. Don't do it.
Oh, I think that's going to be a perfect. Yeah, he goes right into those top lights. Going to close it out 3-0. SCOTTJUND performing as perhaps we expected him to after that first game. Very strong player. Very good Orochi. I'm excited to see an Orochi get a win here on the big stage.
It was against other Samurai, though, so it's fine.
Right. Not against your beloved Vikings.
Correct. Maybe that's why he did it. He didn't want to subject Berserker to a possible loss.
Right.
Yeah, it makes sense. Group B has completed. SYPHERPK and Durandalcraft will be moving on alongside PETEMOO and FATAL-FEIT to the For Honor Dominion show match featuring 2 brand new characters, the Centurion and the Shinobi.
Hashtag Team Centurion. I think it's actually just hashtag Centurion, but I'm Team Centurion.
I thought you said you were on the Samurai side. Why are you rooting against me?
I am on the Samurai faction. I don't really, I don't play a ton of I play Orochi, but.
All right.
Anyway, we have Group C coming up here. Obviously, we have ISKYS from there as the standout player. We mentioned before, one of the first players to really unlock the Warden and all of his mix-ups. We saw FAIRLIGHT playing a little bit earlier, but ISKYS is really the guy that patented the Warden.
Likely, of all the people who play For Honor only, or like who are known for Honor, I would say ISKYS is most likely the most famous. He'll be playing up against SACRIEL, and then he has RIKUTO in there, former Dead or Alive 5 world champion, teammate to Sonic Fox in For Honor during final round. I mean, a pretty long pedigree.
Yeah. But right now, we actually have SYPHERPK, the winner of Group B, up on stage with Jump.
Thanks, guys. Cypher, now, you got to play multiple matches against multiple members and actually play test the new patch a little bit. Now, with the new balance changes as well as getting to play some of those other heroes, what's your take on it?
So I think the devs are going the right direction. They're making some, mild changes here and there, and they're getting the game a little bit more aggressive. And there's going to be probably some big changes coming in the near future to address more of the defensive approach that players take and lean towards more an aggressive playstyle, which will, the viewers will definitely appreciate. So far, the Raider changes were good. I play Raider quite a bit, and I like the extra mix-ups that he have. I think the devs are going the right way with the changes so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing more.
That's awesome. Now, you did just do the 1v1s, so we've got the 4v4 Dominion coming up. Do you think that the way that the changes have gone so far is really going to change the meta up with the way that 4v4s work?
Well, 1v1s, 2v2s, and 4v4s, they're all going to work differently in a way, and some characters, are, like for example Nobushi, while not being very strong in 1v1, has a very strong scene in 4v4s. So these changes do affect the characters in different ways depending on the game mode, and I think personally 4v4 is the most important game mode and probably the most competitive game mode currently, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy seeing that because in the 4v4 you'll see a lot more different characters instead of your typical, Peacekeeper, Warlord matchups.
Well, as time is getting closer, we're getting ever so closer, inch by inch, to revealing a lot of new information. But we're going to do a last final run-through of Group B. Casters, it's all you.
Actually, going to talk a little bit about Group C right
I'm going to talk about Group D. I don't care what either of you want.
You're going to just pick a group. Pick a group, any group. You can talk about Group A if you want. We already did it, but hey, we can talk about it more.
Well, you'll see on your screen the groups. Next up, Group C, SACRIEL, FSD, RIKUTO, ISKYS, and Carnage Apollo will be playing off. I mean, right off the bat, ISKYS, I would say, is the player to beat into this pool. I don't think it's as big of a death pool, fighting for that second place the same way that PETEMOO and Cypher kind of forced it. But I think we'll have some competitive matches. And most importantly to me, I'm excited to see between RIKUTO and SACRIEL who's going to come out on top.
Yeah, RIKUTO, an Orochi player, something that I'm very excited about. Our second Orochi. Who would have thought we'd have so many Orochis here today? I'm really excited to see him play and see his stuff. One of the guys that's been around for a while since this game has come out.
That's
so,
right. And then SACRIEL, longest, in my eyes, the longest time at Peacekeeper player. This was the guy that put Peacekeeper on the map in my eyes.
Yeah, he picked it early and he stuck with it, and he just happened to pick right early on. And it's like, hey, lucky for me, I won the lottery. I picked the best character.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah. And then we do have Carnage Apollo, one of the players that we don't know a ton about, but a community member that's been involved in the scene for a while. And but right now we have another developer segment. But before that, we're going to throw it over to Bill and Eric on the couch.
Eric, you're 2 for 2. Your community guys are stepping up, man.
Shout out to Durandal. That was amazing. It's very satisfying to see these guys like really stepping up, like you said.
And I think it really shows how competitive today really is, because obviously you've got names that a lot of people recognize, and some of them that in the community they recognize, but to the general public it's not as much. And so it's great not only to give these guys the spotlight, but it's even better when they're kind of stepping up, their blades are sharp and they're ready to rock and roll,
Yeah, for sure. And it was really nice to hear what Cypher was saying as well, that he's liking the way the changes are looking, and the guys in Durandal's group and For Honor Fight Club and Hall of Heroes and For Honor Legends, all those guys are so integral into that process for us. We're not doing it all in a vacuum. So it's just super cool to have them here.
Yeah, it's really great. But we do have a next developer segment up, and as I said earlier, we're getting closer to the final reveal. But what do we have in store with this next segment?
Yeah, so we're gonna toss it back to our friend Emil, and he's gonna talk to Damien Keegan, our game director, and he is one of the 2 game directors that I mentioned earlier. He sits next to me, very interested in community feedback, very active in terms of reacting to those things. So he's gonna tell us about what's coming in the near future for Honor. So let's check it out.
We're back in Montreal, and I'm sitting with Damien Keegan, our online game director. How are you, Damien?
I'm good, and you?
I'm very good, thanks. So, Damien, what's actually cooking in the For Honor kitchen right now?
A lot of things, actually. I know you had a little chat with Steph before, so of course we're focused on our top priorities, so stability, connectivity, of course. we're also doing a big improvement on the matchmaking. So right now, matchmaking is based on ranking players based on their skill, ranking players also on their region. But we want to add an extra thing on top of that, which is your reputation score. So to take into account the time you've played into the game and the amount of time you spent on your heroes, because that's also matter. And we want to also update the UI so that to show more clearly to the players basically what we're using for the matchmaking. So that's one big thing that will hopefully come during Season 2. We don't have any date for the moment, but it's something we're working on right now.
Awesome.
And one of the other things we're working on is the management of the communication between the players within the game. We know it can be sometimes a bit harsh, especially on PC. So it's something we're working on to see how we can improve that aspect of the game. So that's the top, some of the top priorities. And of course, one of the very big milestones, something we're working on since the launch, are the tournament and ranking feature. So it's in test right now. We're doing a lot of things on it. Basically, it's a feature that will go together, so you will have to go into tournaments to be ranked. That's one of the neat idea behind that. And it's still something we're working on heavily. And to really see if everything is ready, one of the things we plan to do, it's also a big thing we're working on right now, is use test servers.
Oh, that's great. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so basically it's to launch a test server for tournaments and ranking. Then we will try to use it for other stuff, but at least for tournament and ranking first, to have players playing the feature, even if the feature is not totally finished, to start getting feedback, to start seeing if everything works as intended. So it would be one of the first steps of how we release a tournament and ranking feature.
That's great. What are you the most excited about for Season 2? What are you looking forward?
Of course, the new hero impact, so how players will play those, of course. Especially more personally for me, I'm looking for the gear stat revamp impact on the game. So we did a big job on that, so I can't wait to see what are the players' feedback, what's the data on it and everything. So we're really happy with the work we've done on that subject, and can't wait to see its impact on the game. Of course, we continue working on making new content for the heroes, so new outfits, new effects, new stuff like that. So it's also something we're working on. We'll try to keep the weekly release as much as we can. So I'm also super excited about that. And that's pretty much it, I think.
Very exciting. Damien, thank you very much. Do you have any word to say to the millions of community members watching this stream, actually?
Yes, a big thank you to them because they gave us a lot of feedback since the first day, even before on betas, etc. Very no filter, like real feedback, pure feedback.
That's true.
And that's great. We learned a lot. We improved a lot. I think the game based on their feedback, and I want that to keep continue to keep going. So thank you for that, and keep send us your feedback,
keep it coming,
so that we can make the game even better.
All right, thank you very much, Damien, and back to you in Los Angeles.
Thanks a lot, guys. Now, as someone who's in charge of the community and loving this, we kind of hinted at it earlier, but we've got a test server coming.
Yeah. So Damien dropped a couple interesting things there. The test server being a really cool one that the team's been working on for a bit. This is not a new thing for this type of game, but it's new for us and it's really exciting. It gives us a chance to. We're going to start with the tournament tool that he was just talking, the tournament mode that he was just talking about, as that'll be the first thing we use the test server for, and that really gives us a chance to straighten out any kinks that we find before it's out there in the world, because we take a ranked mode seriously. The ranked mode is rolled into the tournament mode, and we take it really seriously. That's also why we didn't push it out, a month after launch. as Steph said earlier, we're focusing on stability. And so hopefully you're seeing a theme like we want to focus on stability before we push out a really intense ranked mode. We want to test it with the community before we push it out. So it's really exciting for me. We're going to get to work with these guys that probably a bunch of the guys that are here actually to improve it and make it better. I'm sure they'll have a lot of great feedback.
Yeah, well, speaking of people that we're with, we are joined by CARTOONZ here. Now, you play a lot of different games. Yeah. You're all over the board. What do you feel like a test server kind of brings to the quality of a game?
I'm hoping it just pulls all the people that are good at the game to that. So people like me who are painfully average can at least have some competition with other people who are just there to have fun. Because, I mean, we mess around on games more so than get incredibly good at them, you know what I mean? So I think once it finally comes out, and especially the ranked mode where they pull the cream of the crop, rises to the top, and we can sit there at the bottom of the barrel and just have fun, you know?
You can sit and enjoy yourself in the normal games and just like, all right, guys, we're having fun, instead of just getting bodied. Now, you are surrounded by a lot of different talent, but we brought you to this. I mean, you've got some skills. What do you feel like you're going to bring out today?
Well, I'll probably bring out a lot of rage and pent-up aggression because this game, there's 3 controllers in my house broken from this game, so... Hopefully if
I don't
break your controller,
that. You're such like a laid back. You get the
totally,
southern like
totally
thing
chill,
going
totally
on.
chill. No, people, if anyone's watched my content, they know that I get pissed off at this game, so it's gonna happen.
Which makes for good content.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I'm here to entertain. I'm not gonna win, guys. All right. So #CARTOONZ. I've seen it. Look, I walk by the TV back there, just walking by with the Snickers bar, and I look over, and the only thing I see in chat is CARTOONZ is bad. I haven't even played yet, but they know. They know what to expect.
So now you've got to pick of all the heroes. Who are you gonna pick out today? Are you gonna try to cheese somebody, or what's the strategy?
No, I'm just gonna play Lawbringer.
Okay.
That's. People don't want to see. I don't want to listen to anyone talk about PK. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Do you have your horsey ride down?
Yeah, I got it. I'm ready. So it's just gonna be Lawbringer, but it's not gonna matter who I pick because I mean the best people in the world are here, and I'm not one of them. So all I'll do, if I win 1 round, I'll be happy. That's it.
1 round, that's all he needs, guys. But Group D is a little bit later. We've got Group C coming up next. Casters, what do we have in store?
Well, we're going to be starting things off here with SACRIEL versus ISKYS. You know, CARTOONZ over there, maybe not giving himself enough credit. I saw him back there playing Lawbringer. He knew a few of the mix-ups at least, so good to see. But right now we have Group C, starting off, as I said, with SACRIEL versus ISKYS.
SACRIEL actually going to be the player who runs the first 3 matches. He'll be playing off against ISKYS, KARNAGECLAN, or KARNAGECLAN's own Carnage Apollo, and then FSD RIKUTO. Yeah, RIKUTO back there, the Orochi player. I don't remember who Apollo was playing as, but we're going to see a little bit of variation here. ISKYS, of course, going to be on the... ISKYS going to be on... No, Carnage Apollo.
Oh, Carnage Apollo's going to be on Warlord.
ISKYS plays 1 character. We know this.
He plays Shugoki? What is it? Warden. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about this,
there
but
he is on screen.
There's SACRIEL. He's getting ready for his match. Sky's looking pretty comfortable up there. And, you know, maybe he hasn't played on a big stage before, but he has played in a lot of big tournaments, so I'm assuming he's feeling pretty comfortable here.
Plus, he streams. He's used to being on camera. I'd say this is likely the game that will dictate first seed, maybe not the entire pool. We haven't seen RIKUTO play, but I'm assuming that SACRIEL here has a good chance, and I assume, again, he'll be going all Peacekeeper throughout his 3 games.
Dirty PK mains, man.
They are.
But they're so loyal. You have to respect that at least.
She got nerfed really heavily.
She got
3 times.
2 or 3 times now.
Ah, it's cool. It's player.
Yeah,
she's
still good.
I just play Berserker.
Right. We've been through this. You're one of the days full.
I want to. Wait, days full.
Yeah.
No.
Isn't that what?
No, that's a night thing.
Oh right. Yeah.
What are you doing to me?
No, you're Valhalla. My bad.
Yeah. It's an important place. There again, SACRIEL. They're going to be getting into their first game of the day. We'll be starting on Cathedral daytime. We actually saw this as the first last time, and the time before that. Cathedral is the first map for every set.
And it's a good one. It does have the environmental hazards if the players choose to play around them. A lot of times we see people choose to go over to what we've been calling the veranda, but it's got a little bit of everything, and it's still got the balance that players want if they don't want to play around those hazards.
We're going to get started. In the background, you will see that Ward and SACRIEL on the PK. Here we go. Round number 1, game number 1 of Group C.
A little bit of show of respect there at the start of the match. Both players salute, and then we get right into it. Zone attack's going to come through and catch SACRIEL for the first bit of damage.
She tries for a zone, but SACRIEL actually using a lot of stamina, not getting much in return. And he's out, tries for another zone, could be in some trouble. SKYS trying to close the distance, but nice dodging and blocking as well.
Excellent read there by SACRIEL, but he does get caught with a guard break into a heavy. I was just about to compliment him on his reads, and he goes for that dash heavy before we talked about how easy that was to parry. Tried to lead into the zone.
With it. I can't believe
just on the very edge of the hitbox, manages to catch him with that zone attack.
Smug.
Look,
smug.
We've seen this amongst several players today.
So smug.
Had that smug smile, but SACRIEL, he's not looking deterred right now.
There it is. I want to see this zone attack one more time. Oh, I hope it oh, man.
Now we got the next round going already right now, this time from ISKY's perspective.
And look at this, they're fighting inside the environmental hazards. They're not trying to go up to the veranda.
I like this. Okay?
I am a big
These are two
fan.
players that like to have fun. Commits to that second part of the zone, which is almost never a good idea. Catches the dash as well. That's going to be huge damage. Already half of SACRIEL's life gone.
That geyser behind, yeah, I was going to say about to go off. Got to be careful. If that was a parry, that was the round. That could be some trouble. Not close enough, I'd say, but still going to take a heavy. Canceled again, caught him. 4 heavies to close it out. SKYS perfect.
And that is the coolest execution from the Warden, running you through and staring you right in the eyes as the life and the salt drains out of you. I missed that. What was that on the screen?
No, none of your business.
Okay.
It's only for me, and I think Eric. Yeah, no, Sign said help me. And he's going to need some help. I mean, perfect in the second round. SACRIEL maybe in some trouble. Round number 3, we're going to ride along with SACRIEL one more time.
SKYS, one of those players, along with Cypher, who have just gotten so good at reading these light attacks and zone attacks of the PK specifically. And it makes it so tough for SACRIEL. There's that dash heavy getting red again into the wall, and the top heavy for big damage.
Already about half health. SACRIEL in some trouble. Another parry, another top heavy. And, I was going to say another guard break. Doesn't hit it. That one does. Into the wall. Top heavy again to close it out. 3-0.
SACRIEL going down 0-3. It's something we pretty much expected. SKYS looking very confident here. No jitters at all from him. Solid Warden play the entire time. Excellent mix-ups. Everything we expect.
SACRIEL will continue on his run, facing off next against KARNAGECLAN's, excuse me, Apollo 1.
Yeah. A player that is a question mark right now. We haven't seen him play, but earlier we hadn't seen FATAL-FEIT play either, and he turned out to be number 2 in the group.
It's true. Apollo 1, normally a Call of Duty player, was brought here with Control Freak as one of their sponsored players.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to see how he can do going up against SACRIEL's fairly famous Peacekeeper.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier that he plays Warlord, was it?
Yes, this is a Warlord player.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what I'm hearing.
And it's one of those things, like, Warlord is a solid character. So if you're, as Cartoons was saying, a very average player, Warlord's not a bad pick. It's a solid all-around character with great tools, obviously up in the top tier considered by most people. So
easily confirmable damage, has unlock tech, with those dashes, wall splatters, great punishes, zone attacks great, very easy character to play, very low skill floor, skill ceiling's not even all that tall.
And safe offense as well off of those headbutts. Even if you get whiff punish off a headbutt, the most you get is a light most of the time.
And there he is, Carnage Apollo sitting down to play off against SACRIEL.
All right, gonna be hopping into the match here, SACRIEL. I wonder if he has another sign down there that's like, oh yeah, like, something for if he's winning. Seems like a guy that would come prepared with both,
I've been helped. I'm good. Something like that.
Yeah.
And don't forget, guys, tweet at us at ForHonorGame with hashtag ForHonor. Have a chance to get your tweets on stream. Don't forget, if you want to choose a side, you could do hashtag Shinobi if you want to be awesome, or hashtag Centurion if you want to be kind of gross.
Why kind of gross? Have you seen the Centurion?
Well, it's a new character, which is why it's not completely gross. Otherwise, it's still a knight, so it's kind of gross.
Look, we can agree that any one faction with the Knights is kind of gross, but the Centurion is badass.
I do like the fact that he has a gauntlet for a shield, and he punches. Like, I'm a big fan of punching.
He just has a sword and a fist, and he punches you right in your face.
Here we go. Peacekeeper versus Warlord. Starting off, decent block. Lets that heavy rip, but out of range and gets punished. 3 bleeds. And SACRIEL with a, very significant life lead.
Confirms that damage there with the zone attack, but he does end up out of stamina. I think it was probably a missed input on that roll. Gonna get caught there with the heavy. Doesn't carry him into the wall, though.
4 lights in a row. 3 connect, still gets the block, and he earns some round back. Deflection, bleed, and no follow-up.
Worth mentioning that Warlord actually has as many. Oh wow, that's actually going to close the round out. The triple bleed will end it. SACRIEL taking round 1, a nod of the head and looking pretty confident. What I was about to say was Warlord actually has as many. I think he might even have more fast attacks than even Orochi, an assassin.
Yeah, that's true. He has a very, very strong tool, or rather kit. Both players should be meeting into the center lighthouse-esque area.
We haven't seen yet people just agree to play on the bridge. That's what I want to see.
Would you, as a Peacekeeper, agree to play on the bridge against a Warlord?
Yeah. No. And then if I get thrown, I deserve it.
Get out of here. Warlord combo not going to find it. Mistimes the light. SACRIEL, though, out of stamina, forced onto defense. That all block not going to help you in that situation. SACRIEL goes for a punish, and once again, out of stamina, in some trouble, and not bleeding, however.
Unfortunately, SACRIEL ran out of stamina as well, not able to confirm that attack off of the guard break. He tries to feint into the guard break, but is going to get caught by a light. Good defense now from Apollo. Reading those zone attacks every time as well. Excellent work from him. Doesn't fall for that sidestep heavy either. Once again reads the guard break with a light. Gets a headbutt, and a heavy comes through. Whoa! And he actually closes out the round. What a comeback from Apollo.
2 major hits in a row. SACRIEL, I think, majorly unexpected, or rather that was rough. I don't understand why SACRIEL started getting so offensive instead of just letting those hits come, blocking a little bit more. He got over-aggressive, underestimated his opponent, and died for it.
It's like when you're playing Street Fighter or something, you just want to get that last bit of damage and you sit there spamming jab and you get punished for it. That's me, because I'm terrible at Street Fighter.
But no more Street Fighter talk.
All right. I am terrible at that.
Small advantage for SACRIEL so far. The answer's back.
And Apollo out of stamina. This is going to be max punish. The dash in. Wow, he actually does it a little too early, so not going to be able to connect that heavy. He finds himself out of stamina.
And considering the nerf to PK, where the first 2 bleeds don't do as much, while that would have been the maximum punish, it's still not going to be enough. I mean, he barely got anything. At this point, our Warlord should be dead here. Carnage Apollo trying to fight back, but the 3rd round will go to SACRIEL.
That was beautiful patience from SACRIEL, realizing that his zones have been being read right after that triple bleed, and even though he hasn't gotten punished for it, they are getting blocked every time, so he waits it out and then eventually goes in to confirm that last bit of damage off the zone attack.
Round number 4, we're going to be riding along with Carnage Apollo this time. He needs 2 rounds to close this out against SACRIEL, otherwise SACRIEL will be in a great position going into his 3rd game.
And I'd like to see Apollo maybe, he's been using that all block stance, but he's kind of, actually the zone attack gets deflected there. Excellent reactions there from SACRIEL. He's going to get caught now. He would try to go into the all block, and then he's going to eat maximum punish this time.
Zone attack followed up. Low stamina, SACRIEL earning it back. Lots of damage. That might be the end of the round. He's going to go for maximum punish again. Doesn't get the follow-up bleed. Yeah, but still enough.
That will be enough, and Apollo going to fall 1-3 to SACRIEL. SACRIEL gets on the board there in our 2nd match of Group C.
So this will be the first time in any of our groups where the first player, playing all 3 of his games, has won and lost. So at this point, SACRIEL, if he's able to defeat his next matchup, FSD RIKUTO, he'll most likely have a spot in the next round.
He'll most likely have a spot, but it's possible that we could end up in a tiebreaker scenario now, which is something that we have not seen yet or had to deal with yet.
Thankfully.
That'll be something that we'll have to deal with on the fly, but his final matchup, of course, as you mentioned, is going to be against RIKUTO, an Orochi player. We talked to him a little bit backstage, and he looked like he kind of knew what he was doing on the Orochi.
He is a very impressive player. Native to console,
yes.
Xbox player. He's coming here with a Dead or Alive 5 World Championship title.
Yes.
Has been playing
champion of DOA 5.
Yes, the champion. Has said he's been a longtime player for Honor. He helped train up Sonic Fox, which you can know from the Echo Fox team.
Yep.
And teamed with him during final round, where I'm pretty sure they took 1st.
I believe you are correct. I'm not 100% sure, but that sounds right to me.
It's probably right.
Sonic Fox, of course, a PK player. All these dirty PKs, man.
You don't gotta be mad. Because you sound mad.
Look, I play Shugoki, and I've died to PK lights one too many times.
There you see, once again, SACRIEL getting ready for his third and final game of group stages. If he wins this, again, most likely will be going on. He's still kind of at the mercy of the group a little bit, but we'll see. SKYS would also need a win. If SKYS can also earn a win, it's most likely going to guarantee them both through. But again, guys, tweet at us. Would you like to see your tweet on the screen? Hashtag ForHonor on Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter, that's ridiculous. You have to make one. Please join society.
It is 2017. You should be there.
Come on. Being ridiculous.
This is a little bit of a pressure match for SACRIEL because he does need this to confirm a spot for himself. Whereas RIKUTO, he's coming in fresh. He has a loss to give. And we're gonna get right into it now. SACRIEL versus RIKUTO. Who will be on the Orochi. 2 top lights starting it off.
RIKUTO keeping his distance. You mostly want to see, as an Orochi, keeping that mid-range distance. Nice backdash, keeps him safe. SACRIEL throwing out a lot of wild attacks, and so far it's resulted in a pretty big health loss.
RIKUTO, I imagine, will start punishing those dash-in heavies. He is going to get caught with the guard break, though, into the triple bleed. But he has been doing that Storm Rush dance, and I think he'll start catching these. Oh, he's actually going to get caught by that dash heavy, and that'll be enough to close out the round. Isn't giving up, though, tries to roll in, but he is just going to fall to the ground, sadly.
RIKUTO down 1. SACRIEL in a pretty good position. Still lost to ISKYS, but defeated Carnage. Now you see the bleed coming out right after it. Follows up, nice attack, and then, of course, going to get the 2-hit to end the round.
You're always sitting there hoping that they'll just mistime their third bleed.
I know.
It never happens.
It never happens. Starting off again very aggressively. SACRIEL, beautiful dodge, but not quick enough to follow up for some damage.
Comes in with that zone attack, though, and tries for another one. He's going to be low on stamina, so going to have to back off for a second. Tries for that light. RIKUTO attempting to respond with his own, but it is going to whiff. Going to catch him with 2 top lights, though.
Oh, I thought we were going to see a parry there. A little bit too slow by RIKUTO, but he has a major life lead. One more hit will do it. Has to stay aggressive or that health's going to start ticking back. He's letting SACRIEL a little bit more than necessary. Misses the shot. 2-hit coming out from Sac, lowering the health once again and earning a lot back.
Just kind of, actually catches him with the Storm Rush, and that's what I was talking about last round. You see SACRIEL just throwing out these dash heavies, and one of these times, as we saw right there, he's just going to get caught by the Storm Rush.
1-1. A lot of pressure on both players. This is a very meaningful game.
Meaningful game for SACRIEL. RIKUTO, once again, it is a loss to give. It is his first game of the day, but would like to start things off with a win.
Both players starting out mid, and again, RIKUTO with an early advantage, but going to take the bleeds. Didn't quite push him far enough. The smallest push range in the game.
Able to dash out of the way just in time before he lands in that fire. Commits to the Storm Rush. It's actually going to connect into the top lights, and that's almost all of SACRIEL's health.
Sac may be in a little bit of trouble here. You see him playing a lot more safely. Goes in, gets out very quickly, but again, top light 2 times. Gonna find it, SACRIEL on notice here. A second loss will hurt greatly.
RIKUTO up 2-1. You might want to hold up that help me sign once again. He needs it at this point. Down 2-1 in the most important game of the day for him.
Look at this top light coming at you.
Or not.
Or not. Round number 4, advantage to FSD RIKUTO.
That backdash is going to get caught. The triple bleed does manage to time it right. Every time, man, they time it right.
Not going to the wall, just going to take the heavy. Still bleeding a bit. Small life advantage still for SACRIEL, but that's been removed. Whiff not going to work. Neither player getting an advantage there. Parry's going to hurt. SACRIEL on notice.
Caught there. He does manage to get that zone attack, but another errant input catches him with the backdash. Sorry, doesn't catch him with the backdash, but he is going to roll back. The zone, another one will close it out. He's going to have to watch for it. Does manage to sidestep.
SACRIEL can only take one more hit, and that's the hit. RIKUTO finding a kill. End the game.
Dashes in with that top light, really confident stuff, and it's something that he was doing a lot during the game. Realizing that SACRIEL was throwing out a lot of lights and challenged them with lights of his own, realizing if mine land first, I get the bigger damage.
Coming up next, both of these players will be taking a round off as ISKYS and KARNAGECLAN's Apollo will be sitting down. ISKYS looking for his second win, Apollo looking to get on the board.
Apollo looking to get on the board, but he has a hefty task ahead of him. I would say of the people we hyped up, SKYS so far with the most standard, what we expect performance. He performed flawlessly.
I mean, that first game, I don't think we've seen as one-sided of a game as ISKYS versus SACRIEL.
Yeah.
The first round was a little close, but after that, he got downloaded. You'll see in Group C, looks like 3 players have found a win so far.
Yeah. All tied. We might end up with our first tie of the day right now.
At this point in Group A and Group B, PETEMOO and Cypher were 3. Everyone else was 0. So Group C definitely shaking things up.
Shaking things up a bit, but Sky's about to enter into his matches. If I was a betting man, I know you've made some bets today already, but I would bet that Sky's will be 3-0.
Well, we're going to find out. Sky's sitting down right now. He'll play 2 games in a row, first against Apollo, then against RIKUTO. RIKUTO in a pretty good position. Now that he's won that, he can, well, not happily, but he can give away that loss and then, you know, battle on later with KARNAGECLAN.
And we thought going into this that the top 2 would probably be SYPHERPK and SACRIEL, but it's looking like SACRIEL might be out of the running here.
Now this match going to be bringing us to the Shard, one of the more even maps, as people like to say. And Sky starting off strong, immediately landing an attack, then right after landing a parry, going into another guard break environment, another heavy. We'll let his stamina start returning just a bit. And another wall, another heavy, and zone attack. Yep!
That was literally flawless. I have nothing else to say. That, of course, the light parry leads into the overhead heavy, into the grab, into the heavy off of that, and then it just took one more read, man. Flawless performance from him.
He's so smart. Granted, that last zone attack, I mean, probably should have been blocked.
Yeah. We both knew it was coming.
ISKYS baiting out a little bit. Warlord combo not going to connect, but still earns a light out of it. And that's big time trouble. Out of stamina right after. Starting to come back. He's getting a shot to the back. Stamina still not in the green as he swings through wildly. Gets some damage, but he's opened up again. Doesn't fall down. Decent damage. SKYS a few hits away. Not going to clean it out. Oh, it will!
That damage off the overhead heavy is so crazy, and he's doing such a good job all day of parrying these light attacks.
Gonna take a day off of work, unpaid. Check out the new Centurion. Come on!
Unpaid? That's commitment.
But at least play the Shinobi. For Honor Knights, all the... Oh my god. Are you guys just picking these tweets to drive me crazy?
Yeah, I think that's what's happening. They saw how passionate you were, and they needed to put you in your place. All right, SKY's looking to come in here with another clean 3-0. Looking so strong, and how do you even start to try and attack this man? Every light seems like it's getting parried.
SKY's just eats one, and he's going to deliver one right into the wall. Another heavy. Oh, but out of stamina, both players. SKY's going to wait this out. Wow, and Apollo really nervous.
Apollo's biggest mistake here is he's committing too much, and that light gets parried again into the overhead. Huge damage, and that's going to close it out. The execution for style points, staring him right in the eyes. Clean 3-0. A nod of approval from SKY's. He's feeling himself, and with a performance like that, how could you not?
SKY's has one more game. He's going to go right into it, playing off against FSD RIKUTO, who found a win over SACRIEL in the previous match.
I'm very worried for RIKUTO. He was committing to those top lights a lot.
And against the Warden, not the direction you want to be picking.
You did not. No, it's a tough matchup for Orochi for that reason in particular, because that's where you want to get a lot of your guaranteed damage. But against a Warden, they come back with that parry overhead, and it's so much damage.
SKY's looking to be the 3rd player to make it out of pools with a 3-0. I think he's going to do it.
Yeah, I'd say that's a safe bet.
And RIKUTO's in a good spot, too. So far from what we've seen, will likely have an advantage over KARNAGECLAN's Apollo. And if he's able to earn that victory, he will move out of the pool.
Yeah, it'll end up being SKY's and RIKUTO. A bit of a surprise to us, but always pleasant to be surprised in these games. And I'm looking forward to see what he brings to this match against SKY's. If he'll be a little more careful with how he spaces those light attacks, maybe he'll commit more to the Storm Rush play. But
honestly, I'd probably switch off Orochi.
Yeah,
this is not a good matchup.
We talked to him backstage though, and I think he's going to commit to it. SKY's looking very confident there, a little smirk on his face, the smugness.
Everybody's so smoked today.
Everybody's real smoked.
Trying to make it into that Dominion show match, which we're doing in a little bit. PETEMOO, FATAL-FEIT, SYPHERPK, and Durandalcraft have all made it in already. And with the record, I'm thinking SKYS is guaranteed as well. SACRIEL only earning 1. KARNAGECLAN hasn't earned any yet. So I think at this point, SKYS is guaranteed in.
I believe you're correct.
RIKUTO would need 2 to guarantee it.
And here we go, round 1, RIKUTO versus SKYS. We'll see what he brings to the table. We're, of course, following along with RIKUTO to start things off. Opens it up with a zone attack, tries for that top light, not going to get punished just yet, and a zone attack in return from SKYS.
You got to be careful with those top lights, though. I don't think SKYS is going to let you get away with many of them. Side, not going to work. That attack is slow, and SKYS is quick. Big time damage, Heavy railing through that health bar.
I said that attack is slow, but the zone attack, that's the thing, is it's actually a relatively fast attack. SKYS is just that good, and he kicks him into the wall for another top Heavy.
And just had enough stamina to close out the round. First one going to SKYS.
See, he's not even going for that light parry. He's just deciding, hey, I'm just going to parry your lights like normal and then overhead Heavy you.
Going into game number 2. Again, we are on the Sanctuary Bridge. Game number 2, or rather round number 2, SKYS, I mean, he wants the 3-0. He wants to be, with Cypher and PETEMOO. But at this point, I mean, he's probably in a pretty good spot.
RIKUTO trying to sketch SKYS out in the open here, deciding not to fight up in the temple. Is going to eat a zone attack for his treble, tries to feint the Heavy into the guard break, but that's not going to work out as well, and now he's deciding to finally back up. Is going to actually land those top lights, though.
Zone attack gets him up the stairs, a little bit of damage as well. That one's going to miss. Not in time to be able to punish. That is going to hurt, son.
Actually, I think he might have been able to confirm a bit more damage off of the throw, but decides to just go for that top Heavy. He's going to parry the light again, and that's going to close it out. So much damage. 2-0 for SKYS, looking so good.
One more round's going to close out Group 3's first seed. Let's see what happens. SKYS needs one more.
If RIKUTO wants a chance here, he has to commit a little bit more to that Storm Rush play, the sort of footsies that we talked about with Orochi earlier. And, I'm making it sound like that's an easy thing to do. Against SKYS, that's not easy. But you just need to try and bait something out of him so that you can whiff punish into the Storm Rush, into the top lights.
Already started, a small amount of damage gained. ISKYS continuing his advantage. RIKUTO not having the same luck that he had against SACRIEL early on. ISKYS, good block. Keeping that block resting top for the most part, making sure those quick lights aren't coming through. And a good trade for SKYS as he lands the zone, but gets opened up and he takes it Heavy.
Life bars actually a little bit in favor, but he gets the zone attack parry once again into the wall, into the top Heavy. I actually thought he might not get that. He waited a little bit. That top light's going to answer, but there's the Storm Rush. No, it actually gets blocked, unfortunately for RIKUTO.
SKYS in a perfect position, and no, not going to catch it. Dashes through and does get the dodge attack, but doesn't even need the ledge. Takes it with another execution. SKYS cleaning up Group C with a 3-0. We're going to finish out our pool with KARNAGECLAN versus RIKUTO. If KARNAGECLAN wins this game, he will force what looks like a 3-way tie.
3-way 1-2 tie, and then we'll have to deal with that. But looking at the end of one of the matches here, this was round 2. SKYS just playing so clean here. And yeah, not surprising, of course, that he was able to come out 3-0, but I'm looking forward to this match, KARNAGECLAN versus RIKUTO. We mentioned that we think it's going to be in RIKUTO's favor, but you never know.
I would say that as of right now, from what we've seen in their play, RIKUTO does have a fairly significant advantage. You'll see, though, a 3-1-1-0. If Carnage Apollo wins this game, or he actually winds up tying a 1-2-3-way tie, which would force us into a tiebreaker scenario. If RIKUTO wins, the pool ends and he will move on to the show match.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pressure situation for RIKUTO. He obviously just wants to lock it up, doesn't want to have to play any extra games. But as we've said, I really do. I believe that he has the skill advantage. It is a tougher matchup. He is playing against a Warlord, so. That being said, though, he has been looking relatively good, except for someone like SKYS, who can read all of his lights and even parry the zone attacks. That's so crazy, man.
Our final game, game number 6, well, what could be the final game of game of Group C, excuse me, is, well, again, Rikuto versus KARNAGECLAN. Rikuto wins, he moves on. Rikuto loses, three-way tie.
Yeah. And he looks pretty confident. Apollo actually, was that a mini dab? What was that?
I think he just hit us with the world's tiniest dab.
That, man, all right. If you're going to do it, at least commit to it, but also don't do it.
I mean, yeah, like... Starting off, and you'll see immediately resting for top attack. Both players keeping space. First attempt goes through. It's going to be whiffed, and a three-hit combo follows up into a guard break top heavy, and Rikuto with a pretty significant advantage.
Apollo answering back a little bit, though, with some lights, but he gets caught by another Storm Rush. Oh, I actually thought that was going to close the round out.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that didn't connect.
Rikuto going in again, trying to get in his face. Actually is able to block that attack. Doesn't block the heavy, though, and a light follows it up. Is able to catch him, though, with that guard break into the heavy, slicing his head off. Rikuto takes round number 1.
Going into round 2, Rikuto looking a bit more nervous than I would have expected considering his pedigree.
Yeah. Apollo, maybe, you know, maybe with the 0 wins, it's a low pressure for him. He's like, well, if I get a win, great. If not, yeah, I did my best. I'm a Call of Duty player anyway.
Small advantage, I would say, for Carnage Apollo on this bridge. And he's trying to force her back to where there's a lot of environment to deal with.
And Rikuto will oblige, but he actually catches the dash. Not enough to knock him off the edge. Tries to do the zone attack. He's going to roll toward the ledge, but not going to fall off. A little bit of a heart stopper there.
Trouble.
He's going to parry him, and this might be it. The knockdown, no, it's not going to knock him off, but he lands the double top heavy. Maximum punish, and the zone attack will close it out, knocking Apollo off the ledge. 2-0 for Rikuto.
If Rikuto wins the next round, Group C is complete with Rikuto moving on. Look, there's that smugness. God, 1 round win, everyone starts getting crazy. That roll, the camera shift, like really, I thought he fell off. I didn't know how.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think you can roll off the ledge, but it looked like that might have happened.
They should put that in the game.
That would be great. Errant rolls off of ledges. It's a lot of heavy armor. You can't stop your momentum like that.
KARNAGECLAN coming in. Oh, I thought he was going to go for the dash.
Doesn't go for it.
Not going to work. Quick on the draw, but a light attack earns its way through. And another one trades, and another one, and he's still going. Warlord Karma not going to hit. 3 hits coming out from Orochi. Rikuto trying to close this one out, answers back beautifully. Both players at critical.
That was such a wild scramble. So many lights, just right lights. Oh, the Storm Rush is going to connect into the top light, and that's going to close it out. Rikuto taking it with a clean 3-0, and that will give him 2nd seed in this group and move him on to the Dominion matches.
So that'll be the 3rd group closed out with a 3-2-1-0 score. No ties.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those things that it always feels like in group formats, there always ends up that one guy that's sad with 0 wins.
Yep. The first execute that we saw to start this, Rikuto going into the 2nd one, going to find that 3-hit to end it, of course, and then he's going to find his way going into the show match. Rikuto moving on, but the story there was the 3-0 win once again from the, the group captain, I want to say, ISKYS.
Yeah, and it's possible Pete wasn't taking it as seriously when he started the day, but honestly, SKYS has looked the best out of everyone we've seen today. So clean, all of his execution was perfect.
And he didn't choke on stream.
Wow. Calling him out there.
No, it's not a call out. It's fantastic. I'm excited.
Look, well, now he's going to have a chance to answer you. We have ISKYS himself on stage with Jump.
So confidence. It seems like they're pretty much happy that you're not choking on stage. How do you feel about that?
I'm glad I didn't either, man. That's like my secret ability. It's just throwing in the choke. So this time it didn't activate. So I'm happy about it.
Awesome. So now Group 3 is finished, or Group C rather, is finished, and you're starting to see the playing field of who's going to make it to the 4v4 show match. Is this what you expected, or are there any surprises that you've seen?
Literally just what I expected. Yeah. I wanted it to be different for like that plot twist, like the randoms that I didn't know that were invited to this to like make a major like appearance, but it's just what I expected for the most part.
That's awesome. Now, you've gotten to play a little bit on the new patch and really get to test some of the changes. What are your thoughts on them so far?
I'm just glad Warden's shoulder charge is back. He can swap, and everything just feels smooth at the moment. I don't know if it's the current build that we're playing, but it just feels smooth, feels right, and I'm happy about the direction that they're headed.
Well, the smooth plays are coming from him for sure, but we've got one more group remaining before we find out who our final members will be for the 4v4 shore match. Guys, let's get it on.
SKYS, the choke did not activate, and he takes the group clean. That was beautiful to watch.
We're going to be going into Group D to finish out our 1v1 stage. Anthony Kongpan, CARTOONZ, RPGZIEG, and True Talent will face off for the final 2 spots in the Shadow versus Might show match.
Now, what would you call this? Is this the, as CARTOONZ put it, the painfully average group?
I mean, True Talent. I mean,
True Talent's
but
in
he
there.
doesn't enter a lot of tournaments.
True.
Going into this, a competitive experience, I would probably give this to Anthony Kongpan.
I agree with you. Just knowing a little bit about him, he takes almost every game that he plays he wants to learn everything about it. He wants to be good at it and be competitive. So this is...
See, I relate to that. My casual is most people's competitive. When I'm casual, I'm like, all right, I'm only going to learn the frame data. Like, I won't learn every match of the game, right? Like, that's my casual. I feel that.
Yeah. And you watch him on stream, and he's a good player.
He is.
Yeah.
His biggest competition, I would say, is most likely True Talent, but RPGZIEG, pretty strong player as well. CARTOONZ not really very confident going into this.
He's being a little humble. You know, I had to play on stage before for a couple things, and I was part of a team called Low Expectations, and that was kind of our gimmick. It's like, we say that we're not good, but really we've been practicing a lot.
And they still lose.
Yeah, we still. Yeah, you should keep your expectations
It's not
low.
great. So RPGZIEG going into this is a Valkyrie player.
Yeah.
Mainly from console. He won the video contest that they had last year, like before E3 or before PAX, before like the alpha and beta accesses were available. So this is kind of part of his trip. You know, he's been a part of the community a long time, so he'll have his chance to show his mettle.
Yeah, I saw Eric smile a little bit over there when you mentioned his name, so probably another one of the community guys that he's really rooting for. We see Anthony on the stage here. Our first matchup of Group D will be True Talent versus Anthony Kongpan.
Which is really, I mean, probably the most competitive match. Possibly. You know, RPGZIEG is in there as well. Anthony also one of the 2 mouse and keyboard players. We saw SACRIEL not having the best of luck. Anthony trying to keep the dream alive for the MK homeboys back home.
Yeah, mouse and keyboard players. The popular opinion is that controller and mouse and keyboard are pretty much even, except for when it comes to counter guard break stuff. But you know, when you see most of the best players, they're all using controllers. So really, I think the difference is almost non-existent.
I would say that's probably true. Speaking of True Talent on your screen, more than likely going to be playing Warden. Still has that Pocket Raider as well. If you're going to attribute Raider fame to anyone, I would say this is probably the guy.
Yeah, and we've seen already the Raider tools coming out, the new Raider tools from Season 2. So it will be stuff that maybe Anthony's not used to dealing with if he has to go up against that Raider.
True Talent will be the player, by the way, that sits down for the first 3 games. After this game, True Talent will face off against CARTOONZ. And then after that, RPGZIEG.
Yeah, and then we'll have Anthony Kongpan heading up the next 2 games against CARTOONZ and RPGZIEG, and then CARTOONZ versus RPGZIEG will be the last match of the game.
That's right, and really of all the group stages, the 1v1s will be completed. We'll put our teams together for the Shadow versus Might show match, and then we'll see who's stronger.
Yeah, and we've tried to make it so the best players aren't all on the same team. We want some nice competitive Dominion matches for you, so you can see as much of the Centurion and Shinobi later as possible. I'm so hyped for that. I can't wait. But right now, these are the matches that are at hand. Anthony looking like he's having a little bit of fun on stage.
I would say, yeah.
All right, maybe a few issues heading into the match, but
we're going to be starting on Cathedral once again during the daytime. So possible for environmental hazards. We've seen people play around the geysers. No one's been hit by them yet.
No. And it's one of those things that if you get thrown into it while it's active, you'll take some damage. But if you get thrown in there before it's active and then it activates, you instantly die.
That's right. Who do you got?
Who do I got? I got Anthony. I believe.
Oh. All right.
Oh, no. It's actually
yeah,
not going to be on Citadel, but we are going to start things out, and Anthony's going to be playing Orochi, and it is going to be against the Raider.
I'm surprised that he went Raider, especially considering Warden has such a good matchup against the Orochi, but look at this, starting off pretty strong into the environment. He's going to take a big overhead. Lots of damage. Wow, even at low stamina continues the onslaught. True Talent unafraid. But so is Anthony with a slight health lead after that onslaught.
Just sticking out those top lights to challenge it, but he's going to get caught there. He's going to get thrown into the wall again. Just going to eat the knee as well as a light probably. Yep. Into the... Oh, he doesn't even respect it. And he just commits.
All the way. Can't believe it. Anthony putting every card on the table there, out of stamina with his third hit, and finds the kill. True Talent. He's like, I can't believe you've done this.
They're talking to each other up there, man. I don't think either of them can believe it. Letting those 2 lights rip, and then he just goes right into the zone, not even caring. Closes out the round.
Advantage to Raider on the bridge. Big time.
And we saw 2 parries in that last round, which can easily lead to death here.
Went for the parry there. Didn't get it. Parry again. Didn't get it. Got mistimed. Anthony with a lead. Again, mistimed. He doesn't want to block. He's looking for, well, he's looking for this.
That throw is not going to end
correctly.
It, though. Actually, Anthony not biting some experience there, but he does get caught right near the ledge, and he will get thrown off. True Talent shouting something at him. It's pretty hype up on stage right now, and some clapping going on as well. Anthony smirking. You got one back, sir, but we're going into round 3.
Look at this. My favorite.
Savage. As a Viking, that would be your favorite. That's like their thing.
See you later. How much damage you do, doesn't matter. Going into it, Anthony riding along again. Nice dodge, small amount of damage. Oh, and a big amount of damage coming for him. Oh no, goes for a weird cancel, gets a very small amount of damage and runs out of stamina. True Talent not getting the maximum punish there.
Yeah, so that Raider heavy overhead, you can only confirm it off of the throw if they travel a bit of distance into the wall. Otherwise, it's not fast enough to link.
Decent damage coming out on both sides. Anthony with a small advantage to the tune of about 1/4 of a bar, but it increases.
You know what? That was flabbergasted there. The Storm Rush didn't connect. Anthony dancing up on stage a little bit there, feeling himself. But the top lights didn't connect. He's able to catch the guard break afterward. Maybe True Talent a little thrown off by the fact that they didn't connect as well. Anthony closes out the round.
Needs one more to defeat True Talent. People had True. Most people, I would say, had True coming into this, but Anthony really showing his stuff. Has a chance to close it out. I thought that True was just going to try to rush him and push him off the map right there. Oh, and I think that's it.
No, he actually goes for the backwards throw into the overhead heavy. He actually backdashes away from that zone attack.
Life's about even. Anthony with a small advantage now. Pongpan trying to go in. Doesn't get the guard break. Nice feint attempt. Blocked. Swung right through, and the lead is then given away.
Goes for that stunning tap. The double lights are going to connect, and now he's actually at a disadvantage. Doesn't get the parry. The zone attack tries to answer the zone, but he just lets a heavy rip. That's going to close it out. Doesn't have the lightning strike effect that I was really hoping for on that execution, but it's still stylish nonetheless.
2-2 going into round number 5. Winner will be in a very significant advantage trying to get into that show match. And I'm pretty sure we're going to end up on that bridge once again.
What we're seeing here is True Talent not used to an Orochi that's so aggressive.
Yeah.
But he is managing to land these parry punishes.
You'll see Anthony actually moves up a few feet just to stand where it's safest, where there's a lot of environment around him to stop him from falling off the map.
Is getting forced backward a bit.
Bye-bye.
Oh, no! Gets caught on the dash, though, and that's going to be it. Throws him off the ledge. And True Talent, with a roar of approval at his performance, is going to take it 3-2. Our closest match of the day, probably.
Yeah, that was really great.
Well done. Well done by True Talent. Clutches it out. He found himself down, but kept his composure, stayed in there, and he wins 3-2.
And he'll have a chance to continue on this momentum as he faces off next against CARTOONZ and then RPGZIEG.
I'm very curious to see how this match against CARTOONZ will go. I was watching CARTOONZ play Lawbringer backstage, and he knows, Anthony getting his dance on there for a second, but CARTOONZ knows the Lawbringer mix-ups. I was watching him play. He's being a little humble. He says that he's painfully average, but he knows his stuff.
There it goes off, and the end of the game with that ledge. I love it.
I love it too, man.
Next up, CARTOONZ is going to sit down, one of our, I think, least confident players in our matches today. Going up against True Talent. Again, True Talent called mostly Raider, or rather Warden play today, but started off against most likely his hardest opponent with the Raider.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him stick with Raider. He looked pretty confident on it. A few missteps here and there, but his parries were pretty on point.
Yep.
And he seemed to know the maximum punish. Maybe missed out on a couple opportunities for ledge kills, but other than that, he seemed to know what he was doing.
It's your boy Cartoons.
Getting into the game here, and
I had a chance to play him before. He's actually a lot more competent than people are expecting.
Yeah.
Considering how humble he's been. He's strong.
True looking pretty happy after that win. All smiles from him. And we'll see what the matchup is going to be. But what I'm expecting, of course, is Raider versus Lawbringer.
Now, Cartoons, he does have a Lawbringer. He said that he's most likely leaning towards the Lawbringer, but has a pocket PK ready to go.
As we do.
I don't.
No?
No, I play Berserker.
Right. You're all Berserker.
Yes.
Well, I have a pocket PK. It's not even rep 1. It's like level 12 or something. But we're going to be getting right into the match. Second match of Group D, True Talent versus Cartoons.
Lawbringer versus Raider. The big boys coming out to play. And it's going to be an early advantage for True Talent, but let's see what Cartoons can do to answer that back.
That top light is, of course, guaranteed off of the shove now. Well, not guaranteed if you dodge it, actually. And that throw into the wall is going to confirm the top heavy for huge damage.
Nice block. And a beautiful catch on the sidestep. Follow-up. Cartoons, I think, a lot more competent than people expected.
Goes for that unlock tech. Is going to interrupt the attack with the shove, but now he's going to find himself out of stamina. Not going to fall for that parry bait.
Both players working their way towards that saw. Oh, I'm surprised he didn't grab that.
Oh, goes for the heavy finisher, but
That's
that is going to be an easy parry. This is out of stamina. He will be unbalanced over toward the saw, but that's just going to be a top heavy. Doesn't bite, but he will get caught by the guard break. Tries to throw him into the saw, but it will be enough with that overhead heavy to close out the round.
We have generally found that 2 wins works you out of the pool. If True Talent's able to close out 2 more rounds in that fashion, it's likely we're going to see him in the show match.
Yeah. Cartoon's looking a little mad at himself. He didn't fall for the parry bait, but he gets guard broken right afterward. Unfortunate for him, but only finds himself down 1-0. We'll see how he keeps his composure here.
He's trying to find a way to just push him in. No, but he's going to take the lock. Cartoons could go for the push as well. Shove, throws him back where it's not far enough. Stunning tap, decent damage. Couldn't get it.
I always find that after the Lawbringer top heavy, his is the hardest attack to read which direction the light's going to be coming from.
Another heavy. That flip's not going to work. Out of stamina, though. True Talent maybe in a bit of trouble. Cartoons working his way forward, giving him a lot of just position, just a license to get his stamina back.
Now, Lawbringer, one of the highest health pools in the game, so you see that zone attack come through. It looks like it just tickled him, but it's going to take a little bit of damage. Both players just trying to establish their throw game. Oh, the whiff throw is going to be big damage. Just gets the zone attack as he doesn't think that he's close enough to the wall to do anything.
Cartoons, low health. Little above critical, I'd say. Could probably take more than 1 hit. Yeah. But at this point, got to be very, very careful. Out of stamina once again, though, True Talent.
That was nerves of steel from Cartoons, not falling for that parry bait at all. Shove. Oh, he doesn't catch him. I thought he might catch him dashing with that throw, but not going to do it. Reads the stunning tap again into the shove. He is going to get caught, though, and that's going to close out the round with the zone attack. The nod of the head from True Talent. He knows he had his number there.
1 more, and it's likely we're going to see him move on.
Little chuckle there from True Talent. Very pleased with himself right now. We were actually a little worried watching him warm up. He seemed a bit shaky, but seems to have tightened up his game a bit right now.
Goes for it, carries him into the wall. He'll take the knee. Decent damage. Cancels once again, locking him inside that stun. True Talent used a lot of stamina, but got a small, decent amount of health for it.
You actually see that extra Raider stamina coming into effect. No, he doesn't reach the wall, so he will cancel the heavy, but you saw that extra Raider stamina coming into effect. Nice parry. Goes for the stunning tap mix-up, but it gets read beautifully. Only gets a top light for it, though.
I don't think he's actually let the follow-up unblockable go yet. He's gone to the stunning tap every time. It's no surprise it's being blocked. Trouble. That's going to be a knockdown. And True Talent, not enough. 1 more hit'll do it. really anything.
Oh, and he must have heard you. He just lets the heavy rip. That was actually the second time, I think, but that will close it out. A clean 3-0 for True Talent. Cartoonz a little upset on stage there, but yeah, look, True Talent played very well.
More than likely, True Talent going to the show match with 2 wins, but he still has 1 more game to play. RPGZIEG sits down to face off against the Raider main next.
And then after that, of course, we'll have Anthony finishing off his matches, and then Cartoonz, of course, with the last match of the group as we've gone over. Seeing a bit of a replay there, closing the game out in the tears of sadness from Cartoonz as he loses the round.
Another execution in round number 2, and then rough.
That was when he got unbalanced. He knew it was coming. And the finish. The smirk and the laugh of approval.
And that execution to finish it off. RPGZIEG up next. If True Talent wins this, guaranteed to move on. If he loses this, still more than likely guaranteed. The odds of a 3-way 2-1 tie are extremely unlikely.
Yeah, and after watching those first few matches, how are you feeling about the rest of the group? My initial thought was that Anthony Kongfen would be the number 2 in this group, but watching Cartoonz there, yes, he got beat 3-0, but he had some tricks up his sleeve.
I think Anthony's speed is going to catch Cartoonz off guard a little bit more, considering Cartoonz was kind of committing to these pushes nonstop. I think Anthony's going to be a bit more on the punish game.
Yeah, and of course the shove does have armor on it, but like we've said before, those top lights, the 2 of them come in, and
right.
Yeah, it'll be rough. But before we get to that much, of course, we're setting up right now for True Talent versus RPGZIEG. RPGZIEG, we talked a little bit about it earlier. He plays Valkyrie, I believe, correct?
Yes, he is a Valkyrie player. So more than likely, we're going to be seeing a Viking matchup.
Yeah.
Blessed
Which
be.
I know you're very excited about.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. No Berserkers, though.
No. RPGZIEG on your screen right now. The only player that we haven't seen play yet today. This will be the last new face you guys will have to learn. He has a chance to put himself on the board. Taking down True Talent goes a long way to earning himself a spot in the show match.
Yeah. You saw him, he even has the Viking hat on, representing hardcore. You're not even doing that. Where's your Viking hat?
I lost it in one of the raids.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the real-life raids that happens.
Yeah. They happen.
Because you guys meet up and you go on raids.
Yes, we have boats.
Jeez.
A lot of boats. Valkyrie on the screen, going up against the Raider. Here we go. RPGZIEG trying into True Talent. A sign of respect from both sides, as they are civilized human beings.
Right. Vikings known for being civilized, of course.
Great. They have their own show. What show about knights do you know?
I was going to answer,
It's
but
fine. It's fine.
Throw it into the wall, and that will confirm at least a side heavy. Goes for that stunning tap mix-up.
Whoa.
That is so strong.
And he keeps it going, too, getting the light afterwards as well.
Giving him that option. Man, Raider is so good now, actually. I'm hyped.
Both out of stamina, but a small advantage for True Talent. Not only in health, but getting that stamina back. Cancels again, using so much of his stamina for it. He has canceled that zone attack so many times, and it has burned his stamina again. The advantage now belongs to ZIEG, who needs to be more aggressive, but once again grants the license for True Talent to get back into the game.
Yeah, it's sort of the fighting game equivalent of letting your opponent out of the corner. That's when you really need to go in, and he just repeatedly keeps letting him out. He's out of stamina again, though. Maybe makes something of this here. Goes into the shield bash, and that light will close things out. Well played by ZIEG.
You can hear clapping from Eric in the background, more community members, and as a community developer, Eric is biased and kind of being rude.
I don't know if you heard that. He said True Talent's great, too. So showing respect to both players, at least.
He's saving face.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm rooting for the Valkyrie anyway. No, it's...
Raider, a character that I play a lot, and I'm so excited to see these extra mix-ups. You see after the stunning tap, going into those zone attacks, and then being able to cancel into the stunning tap again is so good.
ZIEG already taking a lot of hits, getting parried. He's going to take a little bit more. Lets it swing perfect, and the execution.
That was brutal. The light parry into the heavy, into that. And look, as you said before, he's been canceling that most of the time. You got to just let him rip sometimes. And being the second hit in the chain did that extra damage. Oh, my goodness.
That was so quick, too. And just, done. Done.
Disrespected.
Going into round 3, 1-1. RPGZIEG needs to get the momentum back because you know True Talent's riding high.
To Eric's credit, he cheered very loudly for that, so.
top. Shield bash, no follow-up. True talent, small deficit in life.
Just goes for that wild swing. Is going to get caught now off of the parry, and he's going to go into the zone again. Lets it rip again, and that's his secret right now. Is just letting him go. The stunning tap actually going to close things out this round.
Tap.
Jeez.
2-1 True Talent saying, first round, little bit of a fudge on my part.
Right.
Let me fix my face here for a second. 2 rounds after that, clean. Clean.
Zeke, he's committed to eating these unblockables. He really needs to start going for the heavy. Wow, that charge is going to link into the knee, into the double lights. He's already out of stamina.
She lets it rip. She gets parried, and out of stamina coming through. Block, though. An advantage for Zeke. He needs to go in before that stamina comes back, but actually will get the knockdown. Goes for the sweep, and will get the top heavy. Light gonna get parried afterwards, and he takes a big swing for it. Canceled into the stunning tap. Light gonna do it.
That was so well played by True Talent. He's laughing it off there, but such the mix-ups, man. They're so good.
That was pretty quick.
I got nothing to say. That was the most aggressive we've seen him, and he really just switched up his style between games. He was playing a lot more defensive, and in this matchup, he's just deciding, hey, this guy's been watching me all day. I want the advantage. I'm just going to let these attacks rip, and it worked out for him almost every time.
First round, Zieg had it. Second round, True with the perfect. And the execution. And then going into the third round, 1-1, we thought it'd be more even. Killing tap finally at the end. An immediate rush takes the stamina away, takes over half his health with him. And then right at the end, double top light, and it's gonna end it.
Yeah, I think Zieg a little shaken by he realized he kind of messed up that punish on the out of stamina throw. Maybe had him a little bit shook for the rest of the round. But he showed some stuff on the Valkyrie. I'm excited for the rest of his matches, but right now, True Talent. 3-0.
That's it. True Talent is out of Group D, and it is now once again a fight for second place. All 3 winners of their, or rather all 4 winners now of their pools have resulted in a 3-0 win for that specific player, and it's going to be Anthony Kongpan, CARTOONZ, and RPGZIEG fighting for that final coveted spot in the Shadow versus Might Dominion match.
CARTOONZ,
Shinobi is going to cut the Centurion players down like grass. That's right.
You haven't played yet, guy. Come on. Centurion is going to eat him alive.
I don't know what to tell you, man. It's not what the tweet said.
Look, someone needed, I hope someone got a screen grab of that.
What? Oh.
It's getting a little sensual on stage right now.
It's getting weird.
This is not what For Honor. For Honor's about killing each other, guys.
There was no honor in any of that.
All right, we're settling in for the 4th game.
That's your next match, by the way, these 2.
Yeah, nothing but love between them, apparently.
Well, for now.
I don't think there's a hug. Actually, no, there is a hug execution, right?
What?
If you kill someone with a bear hug?
Oh,
it's not
yeah,
an execution,
I guess so.
But
yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think either of them will be playing Shugoki, otherwise they could kill each other with kindness.
I
like to think that it's just the Shugoki, like he just doesn't know his strength. He just really wants to give you a hug.
He's just really happy about it. Yeah. It's like the pyro from TF2 thinks it's all rainbows. Right. Anthony Kongpan, the next 2 games are very, very important. In fact, this game, very important. Whoever wins this really is in a much better position than their opponent going in, because 2 losses, you can't really come back from that, as we've seen. It's very unlikely.
Very unlikely, unless the game's all split. We're going to see, hey, they're deciding to play, and wow, a great deflect right off the bat from Anthony. Comes in with the zone, but it gets read by CARTOONZ. His defense is on point.
CARTOONZ actually read that, but mistimed the parry. That one's going to work, and throws him down. No, he ran out of stamina towards the end of that. That push not going to hit, and Anthony does get his stamina back and maintains his lead.
Going to get caught by the throw into it, and wow, actually the environment going to block the heavy, unfortunately. CARTOONZ, yeah, he's not happy about that one.
Yelling a little bit. It's a common mistake. There he goes, finally on the board, answering actually a few times. Life still advantage slightly for Anthony.
That zone attack, such a strong tool to get some damage for the Orochi. He's going to answer that guard break attempt with the top light. Tries to go for the zone to close things out, but now he's going to find himself out of stamina. Probably just dash away. This is when you would want to probably go for some of that unlock stuff.
And yeah.
A long distance storm rush, and my goodness, with the quick execution. Anthony, he's feeling himself up there.
Needs 2 more. Neither of these players with a game win just yet, remember. First 3 games played by True Talent all resulted in wins for True Talent.
I'd actually never seen that execution before. That was sick.
Round number 2. What is he?
CARTOONZ, he's just got it. He's looking up.
What is he checking? No, go back. I want to see. What is he changing? Sensitivity? Axis, maybe?
Maybe. You can actually, one of the new updates, you can change how sensitive your guard switch is.
Oh, it could have been a Y-axis problem.
Yeah. Oh, gonna whiff that guard break, and he's gonna get punished for it. That top heavy into the light. It's gonna be a lot of health, and he gets caught again. Another side heavy. Tries to catch him with that long arm of the law, but he's gonna get punished for that one and find himself out of stamina.
Whatever he changed, it was a good change. Nice block, shove, and a guard break. And he hit the wall. I didn't think he was gonna hit it. 2 hits gonna do it. 1 more will close out the round. Doesn't get the parry. No follow-up by Anthony there. His health starts to come back. Blocked, no push. More damage from Anthony and a 1-bar lead right now for CARTOONZ.
We've actually seen Anthony in the situation before. He just tends to let attacks rip and not really caring for his own safety. This time CARTOONZ, though, is going to close it out. That top light going to come through. That, of course, the Lawbringer's fastest attack. Now 1-1.
What did he say? I don't know sign language.
I didn't know. What was it?
I don't know.
You don't know sign language?
No.
I didn't see.
Could have been anything.
He's doing a fist pump, at least.
Oh, right there. See, look, I don't know.
That's a spicy meatball, I think, is what that was.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Riding along with Anthony, Orochi gameplay that we've seen so far. Anthony seems to favor left side attacks and up attacks. Very rarely do we see him attack from the right, and if his player or his opponent recognize this, again, they're coming from the left side again. Next is top, I guarantee it. $5. You good?
Sure.
That counted.
Oh,
that
didn't.
Counted.
He feinted it.
That counted.
He did. Hey, did that count, or do I get the? I get the 5, right?
Oh, this is nonsense.
Look, you got to pay me $5. They're saying it over there. Confirm.
He feinted it.
Yeah, but it didn't come from that direction.
This is ridiculous.
Anthony finding himself with a bit of a lead here, really just confirming a lot of that damage off of those zone attacks. Not confirming, but he is getting a lot of damage off of those zone attacks.
Top light, once again, decent damage. CARTOONZ in a bit of a problem here. He's going to get some decent damage. Swings a little bit too wildly. Not a big punish, though.
Shove's going to come through, just back Anthony off a little bit.
Anthony gaining stamina, CARTOONZ gaining a little bit more health back.
He won't die to just one zone right now, but he is going to be quite close. Needs to be really careful, and that zone's going to come through. 1 more will do it now if Anthony is able to get in there quickly.
Going to break that one. CARTOONZ, yeah, back to where he can sustain through another zone. Anthony having a hard time breaking through this defense effectively enough to end the round. And they're close to even health at this point. If Anthony gets guard broken, it will end the round.
Oh, there's that zone attack. He's got to back off if he doesn't want to get caught by it again. Oh, he tried to read it. It actually, there was a bit of a stutter there. It looked like he might switch and go for the top light, but the zone attack comes through. He had his guard in the right place for a second, but he switched it back up top, just kind of guessing wrong there and gets caught.
Round 4.
Going into round 4, 2-1 advantage to Anthony Compan.
Actually, probably one of the closest matches we've seen today as far as relative skill gap. So, oh, that wall spike's going to be a lot of damage. Comes through with the heavy into the light.
Careful on that stamina. Anthony using a lot himself. Needs to be very careful about a guard break into it, and it's going to be enough.
The Geyser's actually going to close it out. CARTOONZ yelling something. I'm sure, you know, he's probably saying something like, "You're a good guy." You know, that's what, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely what it is.
Yeah, he's not saying anything mean at all.
Final round in game number 4.
Some cheers here in the studio.
One of the most fair maps in the game.
Yes, this is, of course, where SCOTTJUND from earlier held his 2v2 tournament on Cathedral here.
This is the, like, final destination.
Yeah. Able to tech that guard throw attempt, or guard break attempt. Tries to go in with that unlock stuff, is not going to get caught by it, and now both players out of stamina. Anthony with the slight advantage here.
I like that he started dashing in, taking those steps in while his stamina was coming back because he knew that he had the advantage. He wasn't able to open up the defense. CARTOONZ with the advantage. And again, top light.
It's really tough to open up a Lawbringer, especially as a Orochi. There aren't a lot of tools you have other than trying for that. He's going to get caught dashing, though, into the heavy and the light. It's been confirming that all day.
Anthony in a bad spot. If he hits that wall, I don't know if he's coming off it.
tries to do the zone into the shove, but of course it has
might
armor.
be
I think
it.
that's going to close it out. The heavy overhead, and that is going to be CARTOONZ getting a game.
CARTOONZ on the board. The only player right now aside from True Talent with a point in Group D. If CARTOONZ is able to defeat RPGZIEG in the final game of this set, he will move on to the show match. But before that happens, Anthony Kongpan will try his hand at RPGZIEG.
Yeah, Anthony, a graceful loser, granting him a victory selfie.
You don't have a choice. That's right by conquest.
This is a Viking rule or something?
Yeah,
Neither of them are Vikings, though.
It doesn't matter. You all follow Viking rules until Season 2 is over, and that's only if the Samurai, the Knights win.
Right.
We have control of the land, so you follow our rules. If you lose, you have to take a selfie.
All right. Well, I guess you heard it here, folks. If you lose online even, you're going to have to at least take a selfie with the scoreboard screen in a sad face.
Right. There's no more salt messages or calling people names. It's you got to take that and you got to post it on Reddit immediately.
Yeah, and if you're playing right now and you happen to have the stream up on the side and you lose a match, look, we're getting a selfie here with Eric.
What are you saying?
You didn't even pose for the picture, man. You're supposed to be. These are Viking rules. Anyway, tweet us those pictures with the hashtag FORHONOR, and of course we would love to see some of them. So make sure you tweet us. You got the stream on the side. You lose to a Viking, you take a sad selfie. Tweet it to us.
You hold that.
Yeah.
Anthony Kongpan going to stay right where he is. RPGZIEG sitting back down to try his hand at the Orochi. You'll see in Group D, 3-1-0-0. It's shaping up. This is what we've seen before.
This is what we've seen before, and if ZIEG is able to take a victory, then it will be down to the final match to see who will go on to play in the Dominion matches later on.
On your screen, RPGZIEG. Saw him play before. Had a pretty good Valkyrie. See if he can do it again.
He looked pretty strong on the Valkyrie, definitely. At least been taking notice of some of the other strong players. I'm sure you know, everyone watches King Richard play, and you can learn a lot from him. And he, of
both
course,
Peacekeeper and Valkyrie playing at the top level of the meta.
And if you know, if ISKYS is the guy to watch for Warden, I would say King Richard, of course, the guy to watch for Valkyrie.
There they are.
All right, going into round number 1 here, RPGZIEG versus Anthony Kongpan.
And taking a few steps back to try to avoid it, Anthony's going to open up immediately with that top light, but he's going to eat a few himself right after. Zone's going to connect, and guard break. Once connects, second time, not so much.
This is the adjustment that everyone has to make, it seems, when they're playing against Anthony, is that he is extremely aggressive. He's not afraid to just let attacks go. And right now, we see ZIEG falling victim to that at a life deficit.
Anthony whiffing, not getting punished for it. That might close it out. No, doesn't. Still finished. Still got it.
Yeah, ZIEG, of course, he was expecting he was already dead with the top lights that are normally guaranteed off of that. But, of course, you know, he just decided to close it out in style with an execution.
And there it is. And bingo. Going into round number 2 again, best of 5. Nice dodge.
He's able to read that dash in light. Actually, if he had blocked, it would have been a guaranteed guard break, but he still gets a punish off of it. Oh, the shield bash mix up, and that is going to catch him into the wall and the trip. Going to confirm that heavy. Tries to go for more, but able to read that with a deflect is Anthony.
Anthony hit him with the enough, but then ZIEG was like, no, enough.
I'll tell you when you've had enough.
Exactly. 1-1. This is a very animated group.
Yeah. I think this is my favorite group of the day.
Really?
No.
It's just me. FATAL-FEIT still stole my heart today.
Yeah, agreed. He was definitely the biggest. We weren't expecting someone to be that closely matched with Pete, so that was really cool.
Small light trade in the beginning, but getting the better of it. Actually, afterwards, neither player. Anthony going to get a lot off of that one. And a guard break should end the round, and it does. Going into round 4, Anthony will have the advantage as he is at game point.
And this is the scenario. If Anthony's able to close this out where we could end up with a 3-way tie, we'll see what ends up happening in this game, of course, but something to look out for.
Going back to the bridge. We did see a win last time on here from RPGZIEG.
Catches him, actually, no, not close enough to a ledge to really close it out. Shield bash. Oh, he catches him dashing, and that is going to...
No, he hit the environment! He didn't throw him correctly and accidentally threw him into the wall. He backs up, puts himself in a very disadvantageous position. But
the zone attack is going to knock him off.
Oh my God.
Anthony takes it 3-1, committing to that zone attack, realizing that throw wasn't going to be quite far enough. Zieg can't even believe it, man.
So, our final game is going to be Cartoons and Zieg. If Zieg wins this round, it'll be a 3-way tie.
Hey, Viking rules.
Viking rules. You got to deal with it. If Zieg wins this round, he'll force a 3-way tie. A 3-way tie is broken by the amount of rounds won. And so far, did anyone take rounds on True Talent? Anthony Kongfan took 2, correct?
Yes. So I think in the 3-way tie, Anthony Kongfan right now I think would move on.
Well, it
I'm not
depends.
100% sure.
Cartoons, did Cartoons get any rounds on True Talent?
I think 1.
I think it won as well.
Yeah.
If Cartoons gets a 3-0 here, there's a possibility. We'll find out.
I guess we'll find out. But we're going to be going into the match soon here. But our last match of the 1v1s today, Cartoons versus RPGZIEG.
If RPGZIEG wins this, more than likely we will see Anthony Kongfan move on. However, if Cartoons wins this, it'll be his second win outright. We won't have the tiebreaker sudden death nonsense going on, and he just moves right on. So pressure on. This is, I think, the first set of the final games where this really brings it home.
And Anthony sticking around on stage, he definitely wants to see the result of this one. So
he's like staring very intently at the screen too.
I don't know who he's rooting for here. What's he's saying to Cartoons? Hey man, why don't you throw this?
Come on, be really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's really cool.
Who?
Cartoons.
They're all really cool.
Yeah, they're all good guys.
Cartoons versus RPGZIEG. Again, Zieg will force a tiebreaker showdown between their current scores. We'll have to go back, check everything. Otherwise, Cartoons wins this, he's in. Let's get it. Our final game is going to be on Citadel Gate.
All right, Cartoons, he's shown very good defense throughout the course of his matches.
That Lawbringer just walking at you with that top, just walking with the halberd just extended at you. And he's having a pretty good time so far, not only getting a major health lead, but that stamina drain as well, but doesn't get much out of it.
Actually missed 2 free punishes there, but it ends up not mattering as he's able to get the damage anyway. But of course, the Valkyrie dashing lights, if you block those, a lot of times you can get a free guard break.
And he'll still get that overhead. At top heavy, doing a lot of damage. RPGZIEG, critical health right now and unable to break through the defense during the stamina drain. In some trouble. And execution.
Cartoons looking real good in that round. The only mistake he's making, of course, not punishing those dashing lights with the guard break. He is just going into the shove, but got it done anyway. Advantage to Cartoons.
Round 2.
2 rounds away from moving on. We're going to ride along with Zieg, and you see him immediately retreat back, but there's no, this is not the brawl map. There's no hole back there for you to run to. All he's done is put himself in a position where he's at a chance for an environmental fatality, but a whiff guard break is going to result in some major health loss for Cartoons.
Going into that shield, or that all block stance, and this is a situation where either one of them could shove the other person off. They both have a shoving ability, so once again, that dash light. Oh, he actually gets a parry on him. Doesn't land the overhead heavy, though. Gets interrupted, but now Cartoons out of stamina.
Guard break not going to work, and he's back in the green. Immediately just rushes right in, and now it's Zieg on the back foot. Nice block halfway there, and once again, back in the green.
One thing that I think that Zieg could do is start whiffing those lights. He keeps on going for right to left lights, and that wall hit is going to confirm a heavy into a light. The heavy's going to come through and punish that guard break. He could push him off the ledge here. No.
Bye-bye.
And now he gets caught. Zieg looking real disappointed. Oh, such a small error costs him the game. And
Cartoons,
isn't that always the story?
This guy, I mean, he came in with no confidence, said that he was casual, had no chance of making it out. He is 1 round away from finding himself in the show match on either Team Shadow or Team Might.
Zieg, a lot of work to do here if he wants to force that tie.
There's
right
no
now.
fatalities here. You got to beat your opponent honest. That was going to be blocked. Guard break not going to do much, but small amount of damage coming through off the block.
For that unlock tech to start, at least trying to mix things up a little bit. Keep Zieg guessing. Shove gets a little punish there. 2 lights, doesn't actually go for the sweep though.
Zieg trying to space out. Guard break once again countered, no problem. That one's going to be a parry. Oh, a light. I don't know if that was intended. That heavy, however, didn't connect.
CARTOONZ got some reactions, man. He's reacting to that shield rush every time with his own shove.
Big shove there. No damage, really. ZIEG in some trouble. It's not going to get any better for him if he gets guard broken again.
He's actually really close to getting the unbalanced punish, but now he's going to find himself out of stamina. Not much he can do off that dashing light because he is out. Reacts with the shove again. The light comes through. No, his heavy gets parried.
It's not going to work. Out of stamina again. That shove not going to help. Both players out of stamina. Going to wait this one out. Still a minute 40 on the clock.
Chasing him down, trying to go for that pin. No, he's actually going to miss it, and it's going to get whiffed into the headbutt. Oh, it actually didn't knock him down.
Panic.
The two lights come through. Again, no sweep.
I think he's a little bit worried. Every time he goes for the sweep, he winds up getting shoved. Wow, that heavy winds up coming through. There was the sweep attempt, and I think that's going to be it. CARTOONZ finds his second win and will move on to the show match.
CARTOONZ, maybe not a Viking, but letting out a Viking roar there at the end of the game.
I think it's selfie time.
He is really happy. Yeah, he's going over for the Viking selfie.
ZIEG's like, take 2 selfies.
Look, he's wearing the hat and the shirt. He's got to oblige. All right, some good sportsmanship there, and that's it. We have our players decided for the Dominion match. Will, of course, be PETEMOO with FATAL-FEIT from Group A. We got SYPHERPK and Durandalcraft from Group B. Then we have ISKYS and Rikuto from Group C. And then, of course, we have True Talent. And now CARTOONZ coming out of Group D.
Should make for a pretty interesting match. Remember, each team will be required to have 1 Centurion or 1 Shinobi, depending on which team they're on.
Yes.
The Shinobi player will alternate every round. This is a 1st to 4 going in. As you see, everyone has been shown. PETEMOO, FATAL-FEIT from Group A, SYPHERPK to Randallcraft from Group B, ISKYS, Rikuto from Group C, and True Talent and CARTOONZ from Group D.
CARTOONZ doing it in style, man. Those matches were super
fun to watch.
They were super fun to watch, and he looked really confident in there.
I think we're getting ready for an interview, and we're going to interview the winner. I mean, CARTOONZ up there, but Anthony Compon's up there. I hope this doesn't turn into a blood feud. Blood feud.
Yeah, we're talking to you. So we're sitting down on the couch, and you said that you had no chance in anything to come out on this. Yet you're the number 2 seed coming out of Group D. How do you feel about that?
I feel, you know, pretty good. I mean, number 2 is not what I was shooting for, but True, we all knew we weren't going to be True. I didn't think I was going to be him, to be honest. So.
And how do you feel about that?
I mean, he slipped me $50 to let him win. So, you know, and then I almost beat True, so I was happy about that.
Now, you guys had a little banter back and forth throughout. What was being said, like, in between the rounds while you guys were kind of, going at it?
Nothing special, just your normal average trash talk. Yeah, you know.
Some chicken nuggets.
Yeah. I was getting his PayPal address so I could send him that $50.
The trades are back and forth, but Group D is done, and the show match is before us. But before that, we're going to get some final thoughts from the casters.
This was so fun, man. Casting these 1v1s was great. We got to see a lot of surprises here. Some community members that hadn't shown their faces in tournaments. FATAL-FEIT. Durandalcraft, even though he's part of the FORHONOR Fight Club, we don't see him that often.
Right.
So, yeah, a lot of talent here today, man.
True talent, indeed.
Yeah. True talent, and you did it. You did
what
the
a
talent
great day.
and the talent. But the day's not over, man.
Yeah, that's right. These players are going to be broken up to 2 teams of 4, Team Might and Team Shadow, and we're going to have them play off in a show match. Each team will have 4 players rotating through Centurion or Shinobi, with the other 3 players playing their mains or whomever they might want to choose in a series of Dominion matches on 2 brand new maps.
Yeah, but we want to see how these new characters really face off against the cast that's already existing. So I think there will only be 1 Shinobi and 1 Centurion.
Right, but it's going to be rotated.
Correct.
Very important.
So everyone will get a chance to play. But right now, we have Jump over on the couch with Eric.
6